like that.
Fellas, let's talk facts. Your belt game can make or break your look. You could have the cleanest fit, but if your belt is cracked, stretched, or sagging, you just killed the vibe. And believe me, women notice. First impressions matter. That's why I'm excited to partner with Anson Belt and Buckle. They completely reimagine how belts should work. No more holes. Anson uses a micro-adjustable track system that gives you the perfect fit every single time. Once you try it, you'll never go back to a regular belt. And here's what sets it apart. One box gives you 3 buckles and 3 straps. That's 9 different combos. More versatility, less clutter. You'll look sharp in every situation. Anson is family owned, backed by a lifetime guarantee. And because they're sponsoring this video, you'll get a free bonus buckle and a strap when you click the link below or scan the QR code. Don't wait. Upgrade your belt game today.
Row lines. Your top row is going to go from about there to the point of into the heel of his tail. So I'm going at an angle like that.
What is that?
So I'm doing like.
Must be dope. What's going on, panel? How y'all doing? Let me go ahead and introduce y'all, man. We got the whole vibe in the house. Let me get my Willie, real dope. Got Simone and Hink and myself, Lapeef. How you doing, family?
What up, what up?
Blessed and highly favored as always.
Okay. Don't be shy now. Whole vibe, you good?
Yes, sir. Hello, everybody.
Okay. It's good to see you, man. Glad you guys in attendance. If you haven't already, hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. What's going on, Bo? Edward Gilbert, Rob Wick, Christopher Matthews, Bodega, Wi-Fi, Trigger Warning, Construct Icon. How you guys doing? If you are catching us on replay, hit the like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Shout out to the sponsor, Anson Belt and Company. That link is in the description. Fantastic belts. I suggest you get you one. I always say this. They make an excellent gift for men and young men. If you want to encourage the pants to be on the waist, you got to get them a belt. Why not get them a belt with style, right? So Anson Belt and Company, that link is in the description. The belt buckles are interchangeable, so you can switch it up. So if you got 3 belts and 3 buckles, you can alternate. Give you a lot more options. Brown, black, whatever you like. They got them. Like your hair, Di? Okay, yeah. Let me guess you did it yourself, right?
Thank you. I did.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we got some people, talented folks. Well, we got a good show, man. We may be able to get into some trending topics later, man, but I do want to talk about this baby mama culture and why women keep sharing the same men. So that's what we're going to be discussing. We're going to see if we can go ahead and unpack it. We may have a few more folks popping in. So if you see them, don't be scared. They're just coming in to join the discussion. I may drop the link depending on how it goes, but we'll see how the smaller panel do. That means that he can get the opportunity to voice his opinions this time. Right on. Right on, big brother. Right on. Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. My first question I want to ask the panel is, do women use excuses like he lied to me or I didn't know to avoid owning the fact that they had a child with a man who was already reckless?
Can y'all hear me, by the way?
Yeah, we can hear you, sir.
Right. Ladies first?
I'll ask the question again, and anybody can go first. But if you're giving your time to the ladies, it is understandable. Do women use excuses like he lied to me or I didn't know to avoid owning the fact that they had a child with a man who was already reckless?
Okay, yes. That happens.
Okay. You give a little more insight, explain how you came to that conclusion.
I think people fall in love with the potential and use that as an excuse, or the potential they see, and use that as an excuse instead of realizing, like, once I have a baby with this man at this level where he's at, it's a chance that he might not change, and that's what I have to deal with. whether it's a baby or a marriage, you know, wherever you make that lifetime commitment at, you have to realize like it's a possibility he'll be like this forever. You can't just bank your money on hope.
Go ahead, hold back.
Yeah, I can piggyback off of that. I agree. And then I also think that women just lie to themselves, right? So I think they tell themselves, they trick themselves into settling for something that they know that they really don't want, but in hopes that it'll turn out okay. But it's always, what I see is women like to blame men for the mistakes when the fact is, if they don't open up, they can't get in. So
All right. Go ahead, Brother Hink. Do women use excuses like he lied to me or I didn't know to avoid owning the fact that they had a child with a man who was already reckless? Can't hear you, just so you know.
Oh shit, my bad. The cliche is they'd rather hear a lie than, to hear that goddamn truth. That truth is a mother. We all seen it. We seen it the other day when we had that show about abuse and blaming men, and the mothers or the women didn't want to take the blame for introducing this ragged ass dude to the children, and this child so happened to be abused by this stranger, because that's pretty much what he was to that child, was a stranger. Yeah, so they said, well, they won't blame everybody else. They blame that man. Well, that man made it his fault. But ma'am, you introduced this man to your family, your children, your offspring. You introduced this man to your life. And it so happens and turn out to where you thought it was. Oh, did he lie to you? He probably lied to you. Probably did. But you also are giving some skins to the man you met just at the club just at that night. And so happens you get pregnant. Now it's unfortunate for you too. So now y'all got a lifetime and a life-changing event that you got to deal with, whether you wanted to or not. You don't even know this man, but he knows your inside. God damn, that's some nasty work, but that's life. Yes, sir, I do. I believe that some women do these things.
All right, go ahead, Willie. It is on you, brother.
Women lie to do anything. Women do anything to not take accountability for what happens to them, for the outcome of their circumstances. They'll blame, people blame being big on genetics instead of, dietary habits. People blame the fact that their kids are bad on other people outside the home. Women will blame the men for, why the kids don't or misbehaving when the dad's not in the house. Anything that removes accountability from women, they tend to I'd say it's fair game. So lying is just one of the most frequently used tools they have.
What about you, Repo Man?
I mean, everybody said it. Like, I can put the cherry on top, but everybody said it. Like, they just avoid accountability at all costs. Even when it comes down to a woman, you cannot be interested in a woman, and she'll, instead of wanting to hear what actually is the reason that you're not interested, she'll just assume that you're gay. She'll assume anything to not have to deal with the fact that she might have to do some work. So, yeah.
All right. If a woman knows a man has multiple women pregnant at once, is she choosing chaos or is she a victim?
Oh yeah, we got somebody just like that, don't we? In the media, Cardi B, right? Isn't he having like multiple babies on the way, and then she just decided to add herself in the lineup?
I don't think he has multiple. I think we talked about that. I think he only has one child, right?
I thought it was one or
I think
two.
it's a rumor that he has other women pregnant right now.
It's a rumor it's Offset baby too.
Yeah, but the way they say he might be up to number 3. This is the third one for him.
I think she's choosing chaos. And then like they try to normalize it, right? Like, oh yeah, I'm happy, yeah, it's okay, even though I'm not even done, I'm not even divorced yet. It's great. It's like women, sometimes we psych ourselves out to think that, this chaotic situation is a good thing and that, this is gonna make the best of it. I think it's highly delusional.
I think
Right.
I
Go
think
ahead.
poor decisions is something that women struggle with, and I think it's probably always going to be the struggle of women. Maybe it's biological that they're designed to see the positive in things and not the negative. Maybe it's they're designed to go in to situations like that. And that's probably something that they'll always struggle with, and it'll always be the fight between the potential that you see, the kind of like the dream that you see versus the reality. Like when you think about like these visions that women have, like a lot of women want to believe in zodiac signs and things like that. I think it's ridiculous. But like women believe in like, oh, look at that. I see the number 1111, like, and oh, 44, like these things mean something to women because they have these something about them is like, maybe it's the nurturing side, but they want to believe in these things that they see. And I think that when they see that in men, they want to believe in that positive side, not necessarily the negative side. And it's just something they're gonna have to battle with is I know better, the safe choice versus the, you know, um, the other choice. So yeah.
If I had to answer that question, I would say she's choosing chaos if she's aware that he does have multiple women pregnant at once. The only reason why I say that is because at some point in time, we can't keep making excuses or we won't always be a victim. So I've had things that have happened and I had to come to terms with it. Like, you got to own up to it. I made the bed and I had to lay in it. So that should go for everybody else as well. If you do something and you knew better or you know better, then just shame on you. I just told my son whenever he get in trouble at school, it's like, look, it's consequences, good and bad, no matter what you do. So own up to it. If you knew you was doing something you weren't supposed to do, and we talked about the hierarchy. He's 8 years old, and I had to explain to him how the hierarchy works. You're at the bottom of the hierarchy when you're in school, bro. So whenever you think you're above it, then you're going to be put in your place, and you're going to get these things taken away from you. So just to be direct, they choosing chaos. Hank Willie.
I'm just trying to figure out why do we think that's the situation? Why is that? Why is that? Is it that lack of maturity? Is that the reason why they choose that? They feel like they can change a man. Is that the reason why they do that? I try to figure this out. I try to understand. I see these shows. We own these shows. We experience these shows. We hear some of the conversation, and I kind of understand. By listening to their conversation allows me to have some type of understanding. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's something I'm not seeing. I'm overlooking, or I just don't understand. I'm just interested. I'm just very interested in to know these things. And maybe we got a couple ladies up on the panel. Maybe they can enlighten us, help me out, give me some clarity. I'm all ears.
Yeah, tell us the attractive part about choosing a man, like Stephon Diggs. Oh, I almost can. You can almost say a man like me, but I think I'm a little bit different. But I had that situation before. But what is the attractive part about choosing a man? Like Stephon Diggs. Of course, there's a bad side, but what attracts you to something like that?
Can y'all hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Far as a guy with multiple baby mamas, I can't really speak for those women. But when I hear them talk, if they a lot like you, like a lot of men don't hold conversations like you. Like it's rare that you get somebody who can hold a conversation like that. A man that's mature enough to understand, like, if I want something from you, I got to pay into your emotions, even if you're not doing it financially, stuff like that. And this is just from like because me and my friends, we talk amongst each other. We all came into this situation where we like, I see a red flag, but I'm not sure if it's a red flag. But I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, like, you know. So overall, it's just the chemistry. Some guys are know how to build chemistry, like genuine chemistry with women, and I think that's rare. And when that happens, women think like, "Oh, he must be the one for me," you know. And then it's like, no, he does this for all of them. Like they all probably feel the same way you feel, girl. Like, read the room. He got all these kids. Like, just read the room.
I also think, yeah, a lot of women think that they can change a man. Can you hear me?
You can hear you.
Okay. A lot of women think they can change a man. A lot of women just don't know how to vet men. They don't know what they have to offer a man. They think maybe, being able to hang from the chandelier and, be able to cook something and clean up, that's all they need. And they think that that's what makes a relationship. Picking a man like Stephon Diggs, is trendy, it's cliche, it's, the money and all the glam. And I just have to look the part, but I don't have to be anything inside that of value. I don't have to build that up. I just need to look like I have it all together. And that's why they go for these kinds of men. Not that those men don't have substance, it's just that they aren't looking at that. I see in general, majority of women are not looking for substance in a man. They're not looking for a man that can communicate well, although that's the first thing they'll say, is a problem. They're not looking for a man that has discipline or integrity or is able to stand in his power, in humility. They're not looking for that, they're looking for the bankroll and, uh, and, good sex, really. So I think that they choose wrong because their mind is just not where, where it needs to be for a sustainable relationship. It's the good time, not a long time mentality.
I heard you mention something about that mind is not there. Do you think a woman's mind, and this just to the panel, this is to you too, Di, do you think a woman's mind is ever there? Hello? Can you hear me?
We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you, JR.
Okay. When you say there, you mean in the space of looking for what whole Vag just described?
I mean, just in like the whole mental capacity, because when you were saying that a guy like Dope knows how to build chemistry, I don't even think some guys even are interested in building chemistry. I think that's something that a woman tells herself. I think that to her, she's interpreting his aura, his like demeanor. Like some guys don't have to work; they're just them, and the woman just like him because he's him, and he may just go about his business and operate just like that with everyone. But if he shows a little bit of attention or shows a little bit of interest, then I think she tells herself that this is chemistry. This is magical. The stars are aligning. And what's your sign? And they just start trying to go deep, trying to find any and every reason to justify the feeling that they're feeling. So I've never heard men talk about chemistry. When I think all the time growing up, we don't talk about energy. We don't talk about chemistry. We don't talk about alignment. I've heard men use, I rarely even hear men use equally yoke unless a woman is in presence. We just don't talk like that. So I just think that this is just something that you guys talk about. Maybe y'all can explain to us why is it that y'all use any and everything to find a reason to pursue a man or not pursue a man.
Well, when you say those things, like, okay, can you answer this question? Do you agree with the statement that a guy knows within a few months whether or not he's going to marry a woman?
The idea of it. I mean, I don't believe a man 100% really knows unless a smart man would get some more clues. You know, he may have an idea like, I could possibly see it, but he needs to collect some more data on that woman because those signs, them looks, that presence, it can all be like deceitful. You know, guys do make mistakes. So, but the more data you collect, and you can become certain, or you can be like, I can really see it, but right away, the idea of it, yeah.
So I asked that because when I usually hear y'all talk about y'all wives or, that topic in specific, most men have agreed with it. And we all have this, like, I want to say, in my opinion, spiritual way of dealing with things on this earth. And I feel like with women, I have noticed that with all women, they always want to make their man better. Whether he comes that way already, like, it's not like she's saying like a woman could find her husband, he could be the perfect man, but she's still gonna find a way to add to him or help him become a better man. So regardless if this man is low or at the bottom or whether he's high, just a woman in general, she wants to, help that man. Now, as far as Cardi B in them situation, I can't really say because I just feel like that also has to do with greed. She's looking at resources and things of that nature. But in general, if we're talking about, women in general and why they have that faith in men and why they talk spiritual and things of that nature, yeah, I can't really explain the spiritual aspect, but as far as the that feeling to just want to help him be better, even if he's already better, it's just, I don't know. I do see it in all women, and I feel like that anybody I date and anybody that I can see myself, even just going to the next date with, I just feel like, okay, I'm gonna invest until I see why I shouldn't be investing anymore. I think that's my job as a woman, especially if he takes the initiative in pursuing me. But a lot of women, I feel like a lot of women are good at being men. A lot of women not good at being women. And when you're good at being men, you're not really vetting for women reasons.
And I think just to add, like in terms of like where their mind is, I think that that's why we have baby mama culture, right? It's okay to just pop out babies with no commitment and no real foundation. You know, I think if women's minds were thinking long term, some type of sustainable relationship, a future, building. I don't think their minds are in building. They don't know how. They want to, but they don't know how. And I think a lot of women say things that sound good, but they don't embody it, right? So, I might say all the words they want to hear, and I might romanticize the relationship even to make it into something that it isn't. We know it's not, but hey, it sure sounds good. And we run the cart before the horse ourselves, and then we act like a victim or like oh, what happened? This is not our job to make anyone better. It's our job to support people or men as they move toward their goals in life. If we're going in the same direction, then it feels good to both of us. But, I have no desire to change a man. I have no desire to make him better. If he's not good enough for me in the first place, then I shouldn't be with him. And I think that, we look at it. What happened?
It was just a soundbite.
Oh, that's funny. So I think that we need to learn how to accept ourselves so that we can accept other people, where they're at, and decide at that point if this is a good fit or not. And we don't take that time. It's just like, oh, let's just jump in the sack, knowing that once that happens, no one's really thinking about getting to know each other like that. Like I got what I got. This is going well. Let's keep doing this. You know, but now the woman wants to be like, "Oh, baby, you don't care about what I care about," and blah blah. Well, I wasn't caring about when you gave it up, so why I got to do that now? You know, that's just my thoughts about it.
I think it's a couple of schools of thought here, like in our community, when it comes to like women and building men or not building men. I feel like the generation right before us were into like building up men, and I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing. I know I don't feel comfortable with nothing like with a woman doing that, but I don't know if it was a good thing or a bad thing, because women used to kind of like find men and take men, and then I'll give you an example. A older person who I know in my life, before they met their husband, when they met their husband, he did carpentry, he did HVAC carpentry, all of that type of stuff, but he just kind of did it when he wanted to. He kind of had his own little business. It wasn't really a business. He just kind of like, was shaking and moving. And she ended up, after a while, getting him a job and filling out job applications and stuff like that and getting him into the airport. So he do HVAC and stuff like that in the airport. And now he's been there for like 15 years now. And I think that was very common for a woman to pretty much take a man and to kind of have a vision of what she could do with him, or what, where the potential was. I don't know how many women were successful with that, but I do feel like that was one of the schools of thoughts in our community, is that was one of the things that you do. I don't know if y'all agree with that or not, but
Not sure I follow. Can you just kind of sum it up a little bit?
yeah, so traditionally, and I don't even know how far back this tradition goes, but in our community, it was commonplace to take a man and upgrade him. Not to say that you had financial means to do it, but you might take a man and fill out job applications for him, get him a job, or help him do certain things like that. I think that's been commonplace in our community. I don't know if you guys agree with that or not, but I think that's a thing.
So you're saying that it's not such a good thing, or are you just saying that it's a thing?
Oh, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. But I think that was traditionally one of the ways to find a man, or to, go about having a man, is to take one, see potential, and, I guess you can say build him.
Well, let me just ask the man really quickly, and then we'll get to the ladies. Do you think, because this is a common conversation that comes up, common topic, men can be great, but do you think a woman can make you better? Like the right woman will make you better? Or do you think that you're already just that good and she'd just be coming in just to assist? Willie?
I think women wait at the finish line and fuck the winners. I don't think that there's much that a woman can do to a man who's already great to make him better. He's great. That's the bar. Greater is just extra. And then two, greater tends to only be things like that benefit them, or that they can say they had their hands on. Like LeBron James' wife made him great as a father, but his claim to fame is being a basketball player. She had nothing to do with that. Michael Jordan's ex-wife, same thing. Made him great as a father, as a husband, until he wasn't. But she didn't shoot one free throw. She didn't win one championship. She hadn't sold one shoe. So I don't think that women, and I think whole vibe said it, I don't believe that women get with men wanting to make them better. Women tend, especially women our age, they want a man who's he's like a finished product. They can go in and customize some shit and teach him or tailor him to her personal liking if he's willing to go for it. But if you already him, that's what makes your woman want you. And she's not coming in because she wants to do work. She's coming in because she sees the work is already done.
Let me just add to it, because there might be people in the chat, because similar conversations have come up. And one may say that with the LeBron James and Savannah James, that she sacrificed her life. She was there with the kids, and LeBron didn't have to worry about the kids because they was taken care of while he was doing what he had to do.
He didn't need to have kids.
LeBron James' kids would have been fine without her doing that. He could everything that she does, he could have paid somebody to do.
But also, he didn't. Without her, he wouldn't have kids. He'd just be a basketball player and the best ever.
Yeah, and she's also not the only woman that would have given him babies. I think the majority of women with a pulse would have given LeBron James a child at some point in his career.
Well, look, I ain't gonna completely downplay the woman because we all see what a bad woman can do to a man and his relationship, man, and to possibly his game. We watch dudes get a bad woman and just ruin him to the point he can't even focus on the field, on the basketball court, on the baseball fields or the hockey, or the ice or whatever you want to call it. We've seen those type of dudes just go off the deep end and just completely lose it. And then they end up not staying focused, allowing their woman to drag them down. He can't even focus on getting free throws because, this heifer done stressed him out, put him through it. We've seen these type of dudes. So yeah, Savannah James is a hell of a woman, and LeBron found the right one, but that could have been just the opposite. And we don't know what the outcome would have been. We can't assume he would have been great. Because if a woman get in your head and mess with your mind, and a weak-minded man is allowed that to happen, yeah, that could bring him down. Now he's not the greatest. Maybe he's a third or fourth grader. He's not the best in the NBA. He may be the second or third because a few games he just couldn't focus and couldn't live up to his potential and do what he needed to do because he got that badass heifer in his goddamn life that he decided to bless with his last name. So we can't sit there. Go ahead.
Who's a great athlete who was great that had anything that you just said happen to him because of a woman?
Who was a great athlete that had something like that happen to him?
Yeah, that's in like the LeBron James. It's in the GOAT description.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't consider him great, but
you wouldn't consider who great.
The example. The certain individuals. I mean, because he couldn't be great if he didn't live up to the potential.
That's
right?
What I'm saying.
I couldn't name him that.
Great men are going to be great regardless of their circumstance or people around them, and great men have proven that. I would say the closest person who could say that he was stretched out behind a woman was Tom Brady. But then you saw what he did. As soon as he left her, he went and won another Super Bowl and then retired on his own terms. I don't believe that a woman has anything to do with a man's greatness as far as what he is known for, what his legacy is. As far as him being a husband, a provider, a father, she influences those things, but those aren't the things that made him great. That's none of those things are what made LeBron James a household name. Him being a high school phenom at the age of 16 and beating and playing against grown men and embarrassing them was what got his name out there. And then for the next 2 years, he's continued to average over 30 points, doing all that great shit while he was in high school and went to the NBA at 18 and went to the NBA and was dominating at 18. Savannah James had nothing to do with that. His coach did. Let me
give you an example of a woman, not necessarily a wife, that's going to end up taking this man down. It's going to be a couple of them. So I think Zion Williams is going to be one. I think Anthony Edwards. Well, he's young in his career.
A woman not going to take him down. What's taking him down is that he's been so injured. That's
if you said Aisha Curry, then you got a conversation.
No, but I don't think she took him down. But two guys who are possible, who has look, Anthony Edwards has a possibility of being a great player. He has the potential. Now, he's still young in his career. You only talk about 5 season ends, so he still has that possibility. Zion Williamson, I still think if he stay focused, locked in, I think he could be great. So those are two young players. Somebody said in the chat, I agree totally. Mike Tyson. We watched what Robin Gibbons. Yeah, we watched what happened with Robin Gibbons. We watched how that whole situation panned out.
Sexual assault to do that shit.
Mike Tyson was one of the greatest boxers ever. So I don't know what she did to dismantle him being.
Jesus Christ.
We're not saying that a woman she can't throw a man off. We're saying that she didn't make him great. Mike Tyson was great before Robin Gibbons.
No. The question was, the question you asked me, what woman can affect that man's greatness?
What
Gibbons affect that
great athlete fell off because of a woman?
Robin Givens was a man killer. She hurt that man's career.
He didn't
It
fall
messed
off.
with his. No, he did. He did.
He fell off. A lot of
Yes.
happening. His entire process just changed after he lost his trainer. Everything about him, he just started to be more lenient. He started to be.
But real dope. It was more than that. That happened. All that stuff happened at the same time. All of that happened at the same time. Him being ripped off by Don King and Robin Givens and Robin Givens' mother was all a part of that whole bullshit. Was all a part of that bullshit.
Let's make sure we get back on track, y'all. I don't want to get too far away from the topic.
But yeah, I feel like certain women can bring you down, and they will bring you down if you allow them to, if you bring them into their lives.
I think it's been proven that more women will bring you down than will make you great, though. I think it's more likely that a woman will fuck up what a man has going on before she'll enhance it.
Yeah, I think any woman can affect your mental space and contribute to bringing you down. However, when it comes to contributing to your greatness, I don't think that any of these women contributed to these men's greatness. I don't think that, like the same way that a gambling addiction can bring you down. Yeah, a bad woman can help bring you down, but I don't think she can help make a man great. I don't think LeBron James' wife, by giving him kids, that was just a different part of his life, outside of basketball. But I don't think it contributed to making him a better basketball player. I don't even know Michael Jordan's situation, outside of basketball. I think he was pretty chaotic outside of basketball, but Dennis Rodman was pretty chaotic outside of basketball. It was a lot of guys who had chaotic lives and didn't have the lifestyle that LeBron James and his family has and are great basketball players. I don't think it really makes a difference.
Let's go ahead and get let's go ahead and get that in Bo, and I got some more questions for you guys. We can't hear you, just so you know.
Can you hear me now? Okay. I feel like when men date women who are not good for them, like I feel like their intuition is thrown off, if that makes any sense. They tend to make wrong decisions, bad business decisions. They tend to hang with the wrong crowds. If the woman supports what he's doing and he really likes that woman or really want to impress that woman, she can push him to do things he's not supposed to do. You see where they help women in certain areas help, gangs, backdoor people. You get what I'm saying? So, and I notice when men have good women in their life, like women who wants to see them succeed, wants to see them be their best selves, not just because of what she can gain from them being their best selves, but genuinely want them to be their best selves, which is going to be a process all the way until you die. So I don't care anybody saying, oh, I expect my man to come to me perfect, or I'm going to come to my woman perfect. It's not going to happen. It's just don't work that way. That's not life. And I feel like, when it comes down to women, that's just when you have a good woman, you tend to feel better. My stepdad, he told me when him and my mom broke up, they wasn't for each other. They both had their reasons, but now he's in a place where he's around other people. And he was like, I'm at such a place of peace. I don't even want to involve myself in certain things, in certain environments. And he admitted that the woman he's with contributed to that. My dad did too. So I guess until you actually have a woman, I don't know, that you love, you really wouldn't know. It's nothing we can show you that's concrete. That's what comes with loving with a woman. With men, we look at the way y'all provide this, that. But it just sounds like when I hear a lot of y'all speak, a lot of y'all haven't really experienced a good woman. But then, like I said, women out here trying to be better men than they are women. And I hate to say that, but it's the truth. Like, even women don't even really know what they're supposed to bring, because when you hear them talk, they're like, degrees, which is good, jobs, which is good, but I never hear them talk about the feminine aspect of the relationship that calms a man's nerves, gives him faith, motivation, make him believe things that he probably didn't believe before. Whether it affects his career or not, it could just affect maybe his peace that he have within himself. It might not be something you can see on the surface, but a lot of those men, they back their wives for a reason, and they make sure they protect their wives at all costs, regardless of what other men think, because they already know how in y'all world it can definitely be downplayed. Not to Hank, because Hank kind of tried to explain it, but yeah.
All right. Yeah, I want to go ahead and get Bo in there. Bo, did you want to add to this conversation? I got a question I want to pose to the panel. If you ain't got nothing to add on that, then I just go straight to the question.
I think that a lot of the perspectives that I heard are right. I think that men already have to have greatness before a woman steps in. A woman only enhances that greatness. A woman only makes it easier for that greatness to exist. Um, it can make or break it, if I'm being honest. So, if you speak life, there will be life. If you speak death, there will be death. So I agree with a lot of these perspectives. I don't think that it takes a woman to make a man be great, because if it takes a woman, then he wasn't great in the first place. She was, and she gave him that. And so that's not on that man, that's on that woman. And that does happen. That has happened. Women have made some men. Um, but that wasn't them. So simple.
All right. Let me go ahead and put this question to the panel now. Men say she trapped me, but isn't it still his responsibility where he plant his seed? We can't hear you.
I
Repo
think
man.
it's only a couple ways you can get trapped, and that's well, really one way, and that's for a girl to purposely poke a hole in a condom or something like that. Outside of that, I think like I guess it can be deceitful for a woman to tell you she's on birth control, and then if y'all are in a relationship, and then for her to stop taking it and let you know that she's still taking it, that can be deceitful. So I think those are like really the only couple ways that you can really get tripped up by a woman.
So if she says that, because this is, I'm gonna go ahead and get everybody else, because this conversation comes up, and I think you might have had a different approach than what I hear mostly on the internet, which is understandable. But let me hear what everybody else has to say.
I'm trying to figure out how does she poke a hole in your condoms? I'm providing my own goddamn condoms. She don't provide nothing for me, no condoms. The hell we talking about? That's crazy.
What are you talking about?
Look, I told my son, I said, do not ever accept a condom from a woman because you don't know her intentions. And if you don't have a condom, you get the hell on. Don't even get your dick sucked by the heifer, because she'll figure a way out how to use that motherfucker. Nah, we good. Take a shower, get the fuck on. It's not worth it. Take a loss at night, go home, get some Jergens, beat off, try again tomorrow. Don't go in there naked head. Yeah, I don't want to take chances.
No, she'll swallow. She ain't got no choice. You can't hold her mouth. She laugh.
That sounds good, but I'm still not taking them goddamn penitentiary chances. Because I need to worry about more than pregnancy. I got to worry about them STDs these dirty heifers are running around with. So that's a problem in itself. What's up, my man?
Should a woman do the same thing as far as like, yo, I don't trust no nigga condom, I'm bringing my own condom? So is it like the Spider-Man meme where it's like, yo, no, I'm using my condom? He's like, no, I'm using mine. Like what happens at that point? We're gonna both go to the store and buy a condom, and we're gonna keep our eyes on it when we get back to the house. We're gonna make sure nobody.
Yeah, majority of dudes ain't trying to intentionally get no woman pregnant though. Real repo man. I mean, most dudes ain't intentionally trying to do that. Now, I've seen more women try to intentionally get pregnant because they looking for a goddamn meal ticket. Especially some of these college players. You know, they see future money signs or dollar signs. Yeah, I've seen that happen, but it's not too often. A dude has got something going for himself. He's intentionally trying to get a woman pregnant. Now, these pookies, I've heard of them, and I see them motherfuckers trying to get pregnant because he know he ain't going to get another pretty woman again, so he got to hold on to the one he got. So if that means putting the one in her, he could at least shut her ass down for 9 months. Now, I don't see it like that, though, but maybe you do. I don't.
Well, when you talk about the athletes, yeah, of course not. But when we talking about the vast majority of people that's getting pregnant and having babies and having sex, I think that's reasonable that they are the a lot of pookies out there who like, yo, I'm a trap shorty. I want to sit her down just to, kind of. A lot of guys, who on that level had that mindset.
Yeah, majority of men ain't pookies though.
Are the majority of ones having babies pookies? I'm asking a question. I
don't think majority of men are pookies. So I don't think majority of men are out here intentionally getting women pregnant. So you saying sound like you're saying majority of men are pookies and they out here trapping these heifers. I don't believe that to be the case.
I thought women were choosing the top 20% of men, and I thought they were choosing the same men. That's what I thought. That's what I was under the impression that they was doing.
That is accurate.
I don't look again. If you the man and you get that woman pregnant, you got to look at yourself. You have to look at yourself because I don't trust these heifers to do it for me. I'm not putting my livelihood in these heifers' hands. I don't understand why you fellas do that. Why do you trust these heifers that much? Knowing they conniving, knowing they scandalous, knowing most of them ain't shit, but you gonna rely on them to provide some type of birth control for you? No, sir, you better not, because you're gonna come out on the wrong end of the stick, and you don't want to. Chris Brown said it best. These hoes ain't loyal. I believe what Chris Brown is saying.
First, you can't trap a woman because a woman can have an abortion anytime she wants to. It's impossible to trap a woman. Impossible. If that lady wants to play delete his fetus, she don't need your permission. She can go get it done whenever she wants to. And she in the sanctuary or one of them states where she can't get it, she can fly to Arizona or fly to somewhere else and get it done. So you can't trap a woman with a baby. A woman can trap a man with the baby a few ways. She can say, hey, I don't want kids, then get pregnant, and then decide to keep the kid. She can say, well, I'm on birth control, and then so he thinks it's cool to shoot the club up, and she not be, and then she get pregnant and keep the kid. Like, so the majority of the ways that women trap men, it's not like a physical act. It's through deception. It's through being misled. And he think that she was cool, that she was just with him, and then find out that, that she's saying for the streets. So he thinking it's cool to be, you're saying, running up in a raw. So I think it's a one-sided problem. But to Hink's point, I don't think that any man should be sleeping with anybody that he needs to protect himself from, regardless if that's an STD or a baby or just any of the other unfortunate circumstances that can come with after, you done got your nut. So I don't feel bad for men that are in these situations because they should have knew better, and I don't feel bad for women who try to, keep or trap with men, because again, all you're going to do is hurt the kid, and you're going to end up a single mother. And knowing how bad women are as mothers, as far as the products that they put out for children, I won't see why any woman would sign up for being a single mom or having a child outside of a committed long-term relationship or wedlock.
I don't understand. One of the things that I don't understand is how a lot of times we prescribe marriage as a cure. And marriage can't fix people. It can't fix dysfunctional people. If two dysfunctional people get married, you just have two dysfunctional people married, and they have a piece of paperwork now, and it's just gonna be weird when they try to get, and they just gonna do the divorce. I don't know, but a lot of times we prescribe marriage as a solution when we have to fix the people instead of like the marriage isn't the problem and the marriage isn't the solution. I don't know. I hear that a lot.
Go ahead.
Do you think that marriage-minded folks are different than non-marriage folks?
I do.
And would you say like a more marriage-minded person would likely take the relationship a little bit more serious based on your experience?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I agree with you that marriage doesn't fix people, and broken people that don't have to get, they can just get married. But I do think that some marriage-minded folks have a tendency to be for real about the relationship.
Yeah. And I think marriage-minded folks tend to prescribe marriage to other people. And I think that's the issue, is that if somebody isn't marriage minded and you prescribe marriage, and they're like, okay, yeah, like let's get married. It's like they're still not marriage minded. They just got married, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah. So if you were to give some advice to the marriage folks that's out here prescribing, what advice would you give them?
I think that it's the people that need to change. It's the people that we need to it's the people. It's the character of the people. It's their emotional intelligence. It's the way that they solve problems. It's the way that they collaborate with somebody. A lot of people don't know how to be in a relationship. A lot of people aren't picking people that they can be in a relationship with successfully and cohabitate with. A lot of people are picking people who are total opposites, but we just having sex with people, and you feel like, all right, we had sex, and then we boyfriend and girlfriend, or this person cute. Like, I think it's important the other things are more important to me than the marriage. I think finding somebody who you are compatible with and can be with for a long time and know how to be in a relationship with, and also knowing how to be in a relationship in general. A lot of people don't have those skills of relationship skills. A lot of people don't know how to sacrifice for another person. A lot of people don't know how to slow down and think, all right, well, maybe you're not being malicious when you said this. Let me ask you questions to see if you were being malicious when you said this, instead of assuming that you're trying to attack me. And then we're arguing about now each other is the enemy instead of the problem, right? A lot of people don't have I think those things are more important than the actual marriage, even though I do believe in marriage because I'm getting married. I believe in marriage. I like the idea of it. So yeah.
And this is my last question. Why do you like the idea of it?
Honestly, I'm a very honest person, I think. So it's very possible I just might be indoctrinated. It's very possible that I just might have, the movies that I saw growing up and things like that just kind of make me want that fairy tale a little bit, So I can't really say why I really like marriage. I know I can tell you, I can really articulate why I think that two people are better together. But as far as us being better together and being married by the state, maybe it's just the way I looked at movies growing up and stuff like that. My fairy tale.
So shout out to the Repo Man for watching all these goddamn Disney movies. So as far as the part of the problem, relationship and marriage is two different things. You can have a relationship with any goddamn body and just spaz out and get the fuck on. Marriage is different.
Really? A lot
marriage
of people
is a different type.
Marriages.
Yeah, I don't give a damn what everybody else do. I don't waste my time talking to people who's not marriage minded. If you're not marriage minded, I'm not gonna waste my time having a conversation with your ass because it's not what you want. Fuck you, go on about your business. Good luck in what you're looking for and what you find. If that means you don't want to get married, then good luck, whatever you're looking for. I don't give a shit. I'm not gonna waste my time having a conversation because that's not what you're looking for. You looking for something else, then I'm gonna encourage you to go over to somebody else who just believes in shacking up together and just having a long lasting relationship. Go talk to them individuals, see how they work, see how they operate, see what advice they can give you. Now, for those who are looking for it, then let's have a conversation. I'm not going to waste my time, energy, or money and invest into people who's not with it. I'm not going to try to convince you because you already said in your mind that's not what you want. Then cool, do what you want. Do what you want.
Hank, this is my question. And I don't want people to think that I have an opinion here nor there, about this. I'm genuinely curious about what you think about this. What can a man get from a woman when he's married to that he can't get from a woman that he's not married to?
What can he get? What do you say? Ask your question again. I'm sorry.
What can a man get from a woman in marriage that he can't get from her not in marriage?
What can he get from a married woman that he can't get in a relationship, just a regular relationship?
Yeah.
He can get a whole lot, in my opinion, because you have a different level of commitment in a relationship. Like I said, you could just up and leave. Now, you could do the same thing, but it's going to take some time, money, and energy. It's going to cost you just a little bit more. And maybe there's a period where you can convince or have a conversation for her not to leave, because maybe you could actually decide and act like two adults and have the conversation to work things out. Just maybe. Now, people who don't believe in marriage, they don't believe in they ain't got no stick-wittedness. They don't, because they've been running from bed to post all their lives. That's all they know. Soon as I don't get my way, they out of here. Soon as I don't get what I need, they out of here. My feelings are feeling some type of way. I'm out of here. So those who are just strictly looking for supposedly a long-term relationship, that's what they get. That's what that happens for them. I said, good luck, man. Good luck.
With respect, Hank, I don't think you answered the question at all. So what can a man get from a woman that he's married to?
Well,
He can't get from a woman?
I think he answered on the back end.
I did.
Yeah, on the back end of that question when he kind of described the two different styles of approach when it comes to relationship.
Okay.
He said that a woman that's marriage minded, that's looking to be married and is married, that in his opinion, she's vested. She's going for the long haul.
Okay.
Whereas someone who is just in a commitment, they can just leave at any given time because there's no strings attached or there's no like seriousness of commitment. Like it's gonna come with some like repercussions if they decide to depart, whether it be via man or woman. So I think that's the difference he broke
So I
down.
don't know if people are thinking about this right now, but there is you are allowed to get a divorce in America, right? So this idea that this commitment thing is different once you get married, it's not really. And I mean, unless you got a lot of assets, then you got a lot more to think about. But most people don't have these assets that they have so much to think about and hash out when they get a divorce. So I'm gonna tell you my opinion. In reality,
that's because most people are selfish. That's because most people are selfish. That lets me know you don't care about your kids because your kids are affected in this situation too. So I understand that they selfish people don't give a damn about the kids of the family.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that, and that's sad to see. I hate to hear that, but that's part of it. So that right then and there should give you a level of saying, I'm not going to break up this family just yet. I'm not going to separate myself. I understand you talking about assets and all that. Okay, that's all part of it, but that can't be a deterrent. Some people may say it may not be worth divorcing this woman because maybe the issues what we're having is not that bad, or I need to walk away, or I need to get out of real marriage. If maybe we could sit down and have an actual conversation like two grown adults. But like y'all said earlier, y'all talk about broken people. Broken people shouldn't be talking about marriage. Matter of fact, broken people shouldn't be in no type of relationship, period. I don't care if it's a long-time relationship or a marriage. They shouldn't be nothing like that. You shouldn't be trying to commit yourself to a woman and you know you mentally and emotionally broke. Now you're going to bring that baggage to her. It's not going to benefit neither one of you guys. Matter of fact, you're going to ruin this heifer. And the woman that brings that bullshit to you, she's going to ruin this man.
Hold tight real quick, Repo. Let me let Whole Vibe answer that question as well, as far as what can a person bring to a marriage that they can't bring if they weren't married.
I agree with him, actually. I think that there's I'm sorry?
You agree with who? Which one? Hink?
Mr. Hink. Yeah,
Okay.
I agree with what he was saying because, you know, there is that contract. And so, you know, you're going to try harder. You're going to give more chances. You will be more long suffering. When, you know, if I'm just, you know, dating somebody, you know, probably like, I'm not going to stay around much longer if they just keep doing the same thing over and over again. That's why you see a lot of people in marriages, they last long. I mean, it doesn't mean that, you know, nothing ever happened in their marriage because they're married for 20 or 30 years. It means that they were working it out. I think that contract causes you to bear down and work out issues that people don't necessarily focus on when they're just in a committed partnership.
I just want to add to a real quick, Repo Man, before you hop in there. Because Chels spoke a little bit on this yesterday, as far as when he got married, it was life-changing for him. So it was something about the ceremony. It was something about the actual event of him growing up and maturing, as he spoke on it yesterday. So outside of the paperwork and the contract, and Repo Man spoke on this as well, as far as how he grew up, he was around it. It's just like it's the right thing to do. So some people approach it outside of the contract as this is serious business. And until they do that serious business, then they're going to behave in a way that they've always been doing until they get to that point. So I think for some folks, it is life changing, and it's outside of the contract, and it just something has something to do with their morals and how they like truly feeling what they truly believe. And so, because this said event happened, this sad thing happened, this is how they're gonna act from now on. It's like they've given up their whole phase and whatever it is they was doing prior to this, and now my focus is on this person.
Yeah.
So I don't think a lot of people speak on that part of it, like the spiritual ceremony, like the seriousness of it. I don't even think they're even thinking about the contract
Yeah.
until something happens, and then I think that's when those conversations, if it even happens. But some folks never even think about like the paperwork. It's just part of the process. It's just routine. They go ahead and they know they're gonna be in it for the long run.
Yeah, because what I heard, one of the things that I heard is that someone would be more willing to give more chances, and work things out if they were married. And I wanted to ask the guys because, to my knowledge, like women in general give a lot of chances in general. I know as a man, if a woman ever cheat on me, you have one time. You don't even have one time. You got whatever's less than one time to cheat on me. A lot of the women, at least that I grew up with and I've been able to observe, have been trying, and they tried and they tried and they tried. That's all women have done to men that they weren't married to, is try and put effort and want to keep this man and want to make the relationship work. So I don't think that that's something that you get from a woman in marriage. I think that that's something that you get from a woman who's committed to you. Without you don't need the paperwork for that. I don't know. What do you guys say about that?
If I just could speak on it really quickly, and I don't need to talk that much, but just dropped off. Who's that?
Bo says she gonna switch devices.
Oh, okay. I think it is different. Like, unfortunately, men and women are different. It is what it is, and I think that we are wired differently. And we could say it's society. We can say our upbringings. We can say spiritual, whatever you want to tie it to. We're different, and so if a woman steps out and cheat, if she's just cheating, she's just reckless. I just think she's just a reckless individual. If she waited it out and she decides to cheat, then she's just giving up on her marriage, and there's really probably no coming back from that. I don't just see women just cheating. And if she's just cheating like that, then she don't need to be in no marriage or no relationship or nothing, because she's just reckless. But it's typical for the typical woman, it would take a lot. And she's probably not gonna cheat. She's probably gonna end it with you and then go date, maybe take some time to heal and then go date with somebody else. But if she is out here just cheating, I just think she always had that reckless behavior. She didn't take no relationship serious. She was in it for herself, and she had no regard to anyone that she dates. So,
May I say something about that too? I also want to talk about like what Mr. Repo Man said, like, maybe a person that's in a committed relationship, would probably try harder. Well, do you want someone to try harder because they're scared that they're, going to lose you to someone else and there's nothing really holding you there? Or would you want someone to try harder because they're devoted to you and your relationship, and they really love what they have and they value the relationship more than they value losing you?
I think that in my experience, women want me in a relationship, and I think I'll ask you a question. Maybe this might be good for you. Would you prefer a man who, Evan, when you guys get a divorce, he takes care of you because he thinks that's the right thing to do, or he takes care of you because he's bound by the law to take care of you, but if he could, he probably would not be doing it?
I see where you're going. I see it differently, but I would rather, honestly, if we're getting a divorce, I just rather them just do what's needed.
Okay, because I know me personally, I'm the type of man that a piece of paper doesn't hold me accountable. It's never going to have to. Like with my kids, with anything, like I'm a man of my word, and I'm a man of integrity. So paper is never going to hold me accountable. And I think a lot of men, paper has to hold them accountable. Like for example, like um, we'll have a conversation here, and I'll be like, "Yo, if you was with a girl for 7 years and you were taking care of her, and you told her not to work, and y'all got a divorce, and y'all broke up, would you, take care of her bills until she can get on her feet?" Most of the guys are like, "No, we left. Well, I ain't gonna do it. No, I'm not taking care of her, right?" I'm like, "Yo, I think it's the right thing to do because it only makes sense based on your situation. Y'all didn't have a piece of paper, but based on your situation, you guys were living together. It was like y'all was married. Y'all got kids, maybe, you know. But a lot of the guys was like, no. So a lot of guys need paperwork to hold them accountable to the things that they, to me is being a man. Just being a man of your word, taking care of the people that come from you. A woman come in your life, she should be better when she walk out of your life. Oh, this is my take. I'm sorry.
I understand that. I'm just going to respond, and then in my experience, since I've been married and I've also been in a relationship that is long term, and I think the feeling that I got from my devotion to each person was different. With the person that I wasn't married to, I think it was more out of an insecurity. It was more out of just wanting to, just being afraid to lose that person to someone else, because after all, they could just walk away. And in a marriage, it was that part was taken away in a sense, because there was a visual representation of a commitment. And so I was more relaxed, more at ease, more at peace, and I got a lot more done, and I did a lot more things just because I wasn't thinking about being scared of someone leaving as much. So that was my thought process about it.
I would blame that on your partner, on your man in that case.
God,
I think
damn.
I think that you should have felt comfortable in that relationship. And I've been with women before where I know they didn't feel comfortable, and I didn't make them feel comfortable because they shouldn't have felt comfortable, because I wasn't going to be with them that long, right? It is what it is, right? It's just, but my current woman, even without me proposing and all that type of stuff, she's comfortable because I make sure that I build that environment. I want you to feel comfortable. I want you to know that, like, you don't have nothing to worry about. I'm not looking at other women. I'm not texting other women. I'm not even liking. I'm not worried about none of that. And I make sure that I just reiterate that to her, that she don't have to worry about anything. And a lot of times guys are in relationships with women and they don't do that. It's called reassurance. A lot of guys don't do that. But I'm sorry, Di, I know you're trying.
You know how you reassure a woman by putting up.
I just wanted to.
Go ahead, scream at me, Hank. Go ahead.
You know how you reassure a woman by blessing her with your goddamn last name. That's how you reassure a woman. You just sit there and say, "Well, I'm committed to you. I don't need a piece of paper." That's some bullshit ass lie a man would tell a woman just to keep her ass around. That's that game. Are you selling that heifer wolf tickets? And if she's a fool enough to go for it, she's a fool for buying them.
Okay.
So I just wanted to say something. Can y'all hear me?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we heard you.
Well, I'm trying to understand what he's saying, because I've talked to a lot of my homies that's like been married recently, and it's like they've been married for like, the first 4 or 5 years. And they talked to me about how good it was in the beginning. And now that when they come across a problem that he has to deal with, whether it's spiritual, monetary, whatever the case is, he run into a problem. And one thing I noticed that's why I said women are not good at being women these days. A lot of women these days have low endurance, if that makes any sense. And they try to police how long it takes a man to solve his problem or whatever he's going through. And sometimes they be more so focused on their uncomfortability and their role in the situation versus his actual growth, if that makes any sense. So I think even when it comes, I don't think marriage can help women. Like, I'm agreeing with Dope to a point with that, because if I know there's some women who can do it, but those women are kind of like more toxic. They're getting their get back, right? And they'll stick around with ABD for years. Like, when I say years, years, longer than some women would do with the piece of paper, with the marriage. You know what I'm saying? I feel like women who in marriage who goes through those things, they're like, I'm too good for this, so I'm gonna divorce you. You know what I'm saying? But I think a lot of people take their partner's mistakes personal. And one thing I could say is I'm glad I got to love my BD before he passed, because I knew that even with everything he came with, like y'all would say he's a bad choice, right? But in my head, because we grew since childhood, I was willing to go whatever through. You know, I was going to do research. I was going to Google. I was going to get therapists. Even if I had to work to get him the help he needed, I knew that was the man I was going to fight for. So when I see women get into marriages, and I wasn't even married, you know what I'm saying? So when I see people get into marriages and they try to police their partner healing and what time they is, when it comes down to men, I can agree with Lapeef. When men get married, I agree 100%. They whole mind frame and ideal witches. They're ready for marriage. They're ready for forever. They're ready. I know you say like, oh, if my woman cheat on me, I've seen men say that and then get in a marriage. And then my homeboy like, damn, man, I don't want to say this. I don't even want to say this to my homeboys, but I'm going through this. And he's really trying to fix it because men just think different. But women, I can honestly say, even in marriage, they're policing their husband's growth, what mistakes he might come across, what issues he might come across. You know what I'm saying? His he could be working at a construction company and the building get blown up. And she's like, well, it's been 6 months. The bills need to be paid. And she's, you know, and she's not really, and I could say women need to work on that. I could see that. And I don't think that has to do with a piece of paper or anything, because you see women do it in marriages. You see that most women are divorcing because either infidelity or lack of emotional attention or emotional neglect. But it's like, why take that personal? Like, look at him and see, why does he like the emotional capacity for you, you know? And some women don't know how to be women. They just like, I don't know.
So
I want to
can
ask
see
Bill's
why.
question a different way, because y'all didn't answer his question. What in a marriage does a man get that is worth the risk of what he loses when the marriage inevitably ends? Because 54% of them do. So again, what does a man get from a marriage that he's not already getting from a girlfriend that is worth the additional responsibility and risk that he takes on by marrying that woman, understanding that the majority of marriages are going to end at some point?
Peace. That's all what married men say. Peace.
Okay.
I guess peace just doesn't matter.
Wait.
I guess,
Hold on.
but most married men say that.
No,
Like,
I thought Will said he. I thought Will said he's. I thought Will said he's going to answer the question. Will, you said he's going to answer the question, right?
No, I said I want to ask the question, but before y'all start doing all this peace, promise, polarity, all these adjectives and feelings and shit, men don't care. That's not what we're talking about. What does a man get from his girlfriend? I mean, from his wife that he wasn't already getting from his girlfriend before he made her a wife? That makes taking her as his wife worth the additional risk and the additional responsibility, legal responsibility, and legal duty to that woman.
So you're saying basically why do I do all that when there's people out here giving it away for free?
That's nothing like what I just said.
I mean, I know. I'm making it really short because it sounds like
he said earlier he don't really see value in women.
That's what I'm saying. I'm about to go there. Yeah, I'm about to go there because like you sound like a person that just does not respect women. You sound like a person that just thinks they're just a whole. And
real quick, hold up. He plans on getting married.
No, let her answer that. Let her answer. Let her answer.
Don't answer because you know
how. I just didn't want her to project who she thought you were versus.
You know what the
it doesn't matter if that's what she do. Let her answer.
Hold on, y'all. One mic.
I don't know if this is like what you're like. This is like the role that you're playing on the podcast or whatever. But it just sounds like, well, what's so important about this? You know, what's so important about that? But I think like in general, like I respect. I know the value of the love of a man. So for me, it's priceless. There's nothing that I can trade that for. So I would hope that, you know, if there was someone in my life that they would value me the same way. So, you know, I would think that, you know, the difference for, I mean, I guess, you know, there's a contract, right? It's a piece of paper. It really doesn't matter. I can get married under the sun and the moon and the stars. Like, it really doesn't matter. Like, you just committed, you know, commitment is commitment. So I don't know if I personally, after being married don't know if you necessarily have to be married to experience that same level of love or relationship with one another. But I think it's really important to value what another person brings to a relationship. So that's all I had to say.
So okay. Thank you for that. Now, can we answer the question?
Well, no, I mean, I just thought I did. I think that, whether you're married or not, you can experience some of the same things. I personally think, I would rather be married than not married. I would rather have someone that is not still looking at options, is not still playing the field, that wants only me. So I think that's the difference that I think, having a someone that I'm in a commitment with versus someone that I'm married to. They're not looking anymore.
So thank you for explaining all the things that you want a marriage for, because they all benefit you. That wasn't the question. The question that I asked was, so Bo, Hink, for y'all, what does a man get from his wife that he wasn't already getting for his girlfriend that would be worth to him the additional risk of taking on that added legal responsibility and legal duty by making that woman his wife?
I think, in my opinion, he has someone who has his best interest at heart. And I think that they both take on legal duties for each other, because if he happens to, hold on, let me finish.
I just called, sorry, go ahead.
Because depending on the type of wife he has, if they both have it at heart, and he tends to take a financial hit, whatever hits him, hits her. They're both affected by each other's, credit scores, money, investments, and things of that nature. But overall, I think you got somebody who got your best interest at heart for life.
So I will ask you this. So those are things that I would take it that you would give to your husband when you get married. Is that a safe assumption? Everything you just listed are things.
Yes,
okay.
yes, yes.
Do you not think that you would be doing those things before that man chose to marry you? Or are you, because, and again, there's no wrong answer, but I'm asking, would you not be doing those things before that man married you? So again, this is my question. You're doing it before he gets married, right?
Not the financial part and
the financial part,
taking on those burdens. Yeah.
Just let me challenge that piece. We're in a relationship, right? Your credit score is 700. My credit score is 800. I say you want a car. I say, okay, we'll get you a car. Me getting you a car with my credit score, right, will still affect you as compared to you getting with yours, because your rate will be higher. That's not something that's indicative of marriage either. So, but I understand exactly where you're coming from. But again, nobody answered, no one has given anything specifically yet. So I appreciate your input. I'm gonna ask Hink now, because he's actually married.
So my answer to that is for my wife to give me a son or a daughter or children with my last name, not her last name, not her goddamn father's last name or her stepfather's last name, but my last name. And I don't have to go through the rigmarole to verify that child is mine. I don't have to go through no paperwork and establish maternity, because they already going to know, because that's my wife. That's probably the most important thing my wife could give me. Besides that, there's some other things, but that's the most important thing to me.
Facts. Cool. Respect that. Right? You being married doesn't stop your wife from cheating. You being married doesn't make just because you're not married.
All these are facts.
It doesn't mean that you have to establish paternity. That's only like in 8 states. In Texas, if you have a child, you go in there and sign the birth certificate, that's your child. So again, being married is not good. Being married to a woman shouldn't make you think, or if she's already proven herself to be worth your marriage and your fidelity because you chose to marry her. So she was already doing that before you got married. But completely understand where you're coming from. But what about you? What is your answer to that question?
My answer is nothing.
Oh, that was easy. Dope. What about you?
There is literally nothing in this world that a woman would give me while married that she wouldn't give me while she's not married to me.
Cool. So this is the easy part about this question, right? Nobody answers it. unless it benefits them. Everything a whole vibe said is stuff that she wants because it benefits her in a marriage. Everything Di said is stuff that she's doing before she get married. Everything he said is just the one thing that he's really particular about that I think all men should be, and that's the paternity of their children. And having a child inside of a marriage is always the ideal thing to do. No argument there. Bo, you common sense, you go on with that one. You go on with that one too. This is the problem I have when we had these conversations. It's like people like take the things that we're saying. If that means, you know what I'm saying, like, okay, like how whole vibe said that I don't value women based on how she interpreted what I said. If I did the same thing, then I would be saying, well, you only want to get married. You don't want to be a wife, because she not once mentioned what she would give to a man. She not once mentioned what she would be to a man, but Di did. So if we're judging people based off of what they said, the only two wifely women up here would be Di and Bo. But that's not the case. For someone who wants to get married, I want to get married because I like to invest. I like to invest in one person and get the most return on my investment. That's what I would say I would get that I don't get from a girlfriend, because there's, investing in a girlfriend is like investing in a stock. Investing in your wife is like investing in a mutual fund. There's lower risk, more long-term reward. With your girlfriend, higher risk, maybe short-term reward. But for me to be that's my at my core, I like to get the most money for my effort, or the most bang for my buck effort-wise. That's why I want to get married again. Because all the things that I know I can provide to a woman, there's no woman on here who could make a list that's going to be half as long. Because the things that women benefit from marriage significantly more than men do. Just for the fact that everything that I'm supposed to do for you as your husband is legally enforceable. I can't legally enforce you sucking my dick when I want to. I can't legally enforce you giving me pussy every day. I can't legally make you cook 2 square meals a day for me. But you can definitely enforce me to pay bills. You can legally enforce me to take care of kids. You can legally enforce me not to, if I get caught cheating, you can go take my shit. So the risk that men have when they take on an additional person, there is no argument that anyone could make to say that there is anything that's worth, excuse me, because that's subjective, but there's nothing equal, or I'm saying equivalent to what a man takes on from a woman. The answers tonight proved it.
And also I want to add that even the beautiful things that Willie said, you can still get that from a girlfriend. And I think marriage is beautiful. Willie think marriage is beautiful. I'm going to get married, but if I can't be intellectually dishonest, getting married because I'm getting married. Like, I'm not going to change the day that I gotta, that the day that I jump the broom. Like, I'm gonna be the same guy, same relationship, same all of that. But I can completely understand why a woman would get married. Like, I absolutely understand why a woman would get married. There's so many benefits, Men do change when they get married, from what you guys are saying. They kind of, they take that serious. Somebody asked a question in the comments, and they keep saying that pretty much men live longer when they're married. Men live longer when they're married, right? Men live longer when they're married because it's a priority now. When men
don't do dumb shit. Do you know how many times I've been skydiving? Well, when I was married, I didn't go skydiving, squirrel shooting, shark hunting, shark fishing. I didn't do none of that shit when I was married because I was at home with my fucking family.
You're not out.
Men do single people shit.
Exactly. You're not out drinking. You're not out doing all these. Not like men. We're men. We're boys. You know how little boys is they running around, they hurting themselves. No, we boys. So when we single, we're not going to be different. No. If we simply were, if it was just simply a priority for me to live longer, I would live longer. It's just that simple,
Okay, so right then and there, y'all just talked about a woman as a benefit. Then, whether y'all want to believe it or not, you just explained. Yes, you did, dog. If her having a wife or having a woman and a family force you to maybe think more mature or not as be a little bit more cautious, that's a benefit.
Yeah, but it's not a benefit exclusive to being married. It's a benefit of having a woman or being married.
No, regardless if it's married or not, that's still a benefit. Because one of the questions we had is a woman a benefit? Right, that was one of the questions, whether she was a wife or not.
Well, no, that was
question was
that conversation is about a man like the athletes. We're talking. Well, the question that we asked was whether you get as a girlfriend if you don't get as a wife, or as a wife.
I know we move a little further down, but I'm just bringing it full circle. Regardless if it's an athlete or not, it's still a benefit.
Hank,
we can't.
And everything that Willie, we can get what you said we could get from a husband with a kid. It's so many athletes that's paying for a woman's lifestyle and her,
it's
her
not that
crib
many
and
athletes,
everything.
period,
It's
though.
like
So
it
that
equals
doesn't.
the spousal support of that.
Yeah, but that's
feel me?
that's like 0.0000001% of people. So that's not even a conversation we're having.
No, because most of these women that's having kids by these dudes with multiple baby daddies, they got low income. You feel me? Like the child support be paying for they
Yeah, I think a repo man, the only one up there who's up there saving these heifers like that. The repo man's the only one doing it. I'm not doing that shit. I ain't never heard Willie talk about doing it. I think Real Dope's the only one talking about saving hoes.
Well, for some of these women, marrying them is literally saving these same proverbial hoes.
Yeah.
Well, that's true too. That's true. But you could do that at not marrying them too, right, Will?
So, hey, let me ask you a question. Have you ever seen a woman?
No, Will. Can you also do that not marrying them too?
Facts, 100%.
Okay, there we are. We're going to go tit for tat right on.
Have you ever seen a woman that you was just like, you have no business getting married, or saw her get married and just knew her husband was weak, or he was just something was wrong with him?
Yes, I have.
Dope, have you?
Absolutely.
JR, have you? So again, the same way we don't get enough for marriage, women get to use marriage for a multitude of things. A lot of women want to get married because of how it benefits them. You know, they can list till they blue in the face everything they get from it, right? Di is one of the few people that we've had this conversation with that mentioned anything that she would give to her husband, like, or even alluded to it. Bo, you talk about it all the time, so we already know that. I'm saying you get married, you're gonna be a great wife, right? Marriage is not this, like you said, it's not.
I don't. Bo, you don't believe in marriage, though, do you?
Well, a partner, whatever the fuck Bo got going on.
That's how I know you don't never listen to what I say.
She'll be
an
you don't
asset. Say shit. So I don't think she does.
Shit. Hey, let's be respectful. All right.
Oh, I am. That's why I said that. I said you don't believe in marriage. You believe in partnership.
You don't know what I believe, so let's not speak on what Bo believes.
So what do you believe in? I'm asking. Do you believe in that?
You didn't ask. You said.
I'm asking you. Do you believe in that? I'm asking you now, ma'am. I said it twice so far. Let me ask you for a third time. Okay, I hear you.
I always said I believe in marriage.
Yeah, I don't believe you, but I hear what you're saying, though. Thank you for clarification.
Stop asking me questions that you don't want the answer.
Okay. All right. So let's ask you
for clarification. That's all I wanted. That's all.
Why don't you believe her? Because if you could sum it up in 2 sentences, why don't you believe her?
Because she don't respect the sanctity of marriage. She rather call a person a partner. See, when you call your husband a partner, there's a hierarchy to this shit. Dope, same way. He don't when I call my wife, I would never call my wife my partner. So when I hear people like that, I don't think you really believe in marriage because you don't have no understanding of, because you wouldn't be calling your wife or your husband a partner. You call everybody a partner. You can call Real Dope your partner. You call Di your partner. You call me your partner. Or you call Viz your partner. But see, when you call your wife, that's a higher, there's a level, there's a certain level of respect that comes behind that. When I don't want my wife to say, well, that's my partner. Bullshit, baby. You better call me your goddamn husband or call me Mr. Hink. Something. You're not going to fucking call me your goddamn partner. Go find your partner somewhere else unless you're a goddamn bulldagger and that's what you're into. Then I need to be rid of your ass.
All right. So I do want to get some clarification because I know sometimes when people are discussing the other person, spouse, wife, husband, and then the term partner. If you are out in public, let's just say you had a business meeting, business opportunity, a fundraiser, something like that. If you're married, how would you introduce your husband? Would you use the word partner?
I would say this is my husband.
Okay. And then can you explain why you use the word partner?
Because I'm describing, when I say partner, I'm describing the dynamic between us. It is a descriptive term that I like to refer to my man or my husband or whatever he should be. It is the fact that we are a team. We work together. We are in this together. It's the dynamic of it. I never introduced my ex-husband as my partner, but I need to feel like we're in this together. So that's when I adopted the term, because I never felt like that in my marriage. I always felt like we were working on two separate things. We were always separate. And so that's when I adopted the term partner. I need you to be my partner. I need to know that we are in this with each other together as a team. So I'm describing the dynamic of it, but I do not introduce my man, my boyfriend, my husband, or whatever as a partner. But yeah, when I say partner, I'm telling you what I want you to be to me.
Okay, Hank, she explained to you that she would never reference her husband as partner in a public setting, but more so just using it here on the platform to kind of break it down. Like, how do you feel about her response now? Do you still feel as though you don't?
No. YouTube is a public setting. And she said she want to call her man, her husband, her boyfriend, her partner. So just because you did it in a social setting, in a meeting like that, you're doing it in a public setting right now when you call him a partner. So to me, that sounds like you want to be equal. And there's nothing equal about a man and a woman. And I understand why y'all want to be equal, because y'all feel like y'all been slighted. Well, that's on you and that significant other you got, that you feel that way. That's not how you should be addressing your... Let me finish. I'm almost done, man. But when you describe the man who blessed you with your last name and say that's your partner, everybody in that social setting you could call partners, they all your partners. Because when you sit there and put the description, my man, my boyfriend, and my husband, see, there's a hierarchy, and I believe in hierarchy. A boyfriend ain't shit. Your man ain't shit, but a husband, shit, that's something great that I think y'all have lack of respect of, and maybe that's why y'all don't respect marriage. So be it.
Hank, I think you're committed to
Now this is between me and Bo, real dope. She don't need no help, Captain.
No, because
he's committed to misunderstanding me.
I'm also a person who's
I pay attention. I listen. And why is real dope trying to save you? Is that your partner?
I'm not trying to save her, but I'm also a person.
That's exactly what you're doing. Let her speak for herself. You want to be equal? Then she can talk to me. I'm not disrespecting her. I'm letting her speak. I'm listening when she speaks. I'll be quiet. And then I just hope I can get the same. That's all. Go ahead, Bo.
Partner is literally just a descriptive term of what the dynamic of the relationship between a husband and wife is. It's in the definition. It literally is defined as husband and wife. You are each other's partner. You do not move independently of your wife. Your wife does not move independently of you. It has nothing to do with a hierarchy. You want to have a hierarchy? You can have a hierarchy. That's still your partner because you all are on the same team. You do not move independently of each other. It makes no sense. These words have meanings, and I know you all have big feelings over these words. But just because someone wants to be in partnership, someone wants to work with their spouse, their whatever you are, does not mean that they devalue you as a husband. It is literally just the dynamic between you two. You do not have to understand this. I do not care. But people who understand definitions of words, people who can accept definitions of words and can get out of their feelings about it. No one's going to call you that. But that is the dynamic between a husband and wife. You all are on a team, period. So when I'm saying partner, it's okay for me. And I definitely believe in marriage.
All right, take a time out, Bo and Hank, for a second. Let me get a whole vibe in and just to kind of respond. Go ahead.
So I just wanted to talk about what Mr. Beeman said to me. If I rubbed you the wrong way by saying that it seemed like you didn't respect women, that is my bad. Because I disagree with you about me being a great wife, because I know that I am. But I think that in a relationship, like if I'm just in a regular relationship, I'm not married. I have levels, so I'm not going to give wife level as a girlfriend. I just won't. I never have, and I never will. So, as a wife, I consider a wife as I'm one with someone. If I'm someone's girlfriend, I'm not one with them. I might be committed, but I'm not one. And I know that I didn't explain like what I would be giving, but I think that goes without saying. If I don't feel one with the person that I'm committed to and not married to, but I feel one with the person that I'm married to, I'm gonna have a different level. But I did want to clarify that because it sounded like you felt judged by me, and that wasn't my intention at all. I was just listening to what you were saying, and it just sounded like it didn't really mean anything if you were married or not. So I just wanted to clear it up, Mr. Female.
Who Bob? I just want to say that I
I
don't.
just responded based off of what you said. Typically, what I've learned is that when people take things that I say to mean something that it doesn't, just the word selection alone that I use, if you just by definition heard that and then you wouldn't come to the conclusion you made, I just understand that it's just something they want to say to me. It doesn't bother me. It's just a space. I'm not worried about it. And if I say like when I say like if I don't like this type of women or this thing about women, usually what I've seen in these spaces is that the only women who take issue with that or don't understand what I'm saying are the people that I'm talking about or identify what I said for some reason. And that's again, everybody's business. But nothing you've said offended me at all.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure.
Who Bob? I don't. I didn't believe you when you said that you wouldn't give a man that you're not in a relation that you're not married to everything. I believe that you're going to give a man exactly what he give you. Whatever he give you, I think you're going to give it back to him.
You
It
mean
makes
you mean in a relationship or in a marriage?
Yeah, I think if whatever a man gives you, you're gonna give it back to him. I think whatever effort he gives you, you're gonna give it back. I don't think that necessarily, um, you in particular would have to be married to that person to give them everything or to be one with them. I think you could do that, but I think it probably comes down to that limitation of maybe he's not giving you all of that, and you just don't give it back to him.
Well, I'll give. I just like it. So if I'm just like someone's girlfriend, I'll match. I'll give. But if I'm someone's wife, then I give all of me. I belong to them in a sense.
So if he give
I'm
you,
not their partner. I'm their other half. Where they go, I go. What they do, I'm doing. Where we gonna be together. So that is the kind of person that I am as a wife. But I'm not like that as a girlfriend. I
I,
just have
I,
to be honest.
maybe you don't believe me, right? You may not believe me, but I think that's all determined by the man. What you give is all determined by the man. I understand what you're saying. You're saying that like I wouldn't do this, that, and the third. But if you met a man who was committed to giving you all of those things as a girlfriend, I think you're going to give him back everything that he's giving you.
You're right. I would. I mean,
Doc,
it just always doesn't work out like that. But
Doc, can I ask you a question?
me?
No,
Or-
Doc.
Oh, okay.
So if your boyfriend told you that I'm only going to do boyfriend stuff until we get married and then I'll do husband stuff, what stuff would you think he was talking about?
I was just gonna kind of speak on it. I guess, buying a house, moving me in, making my problems his problems, being concerned about like my general growth, like because I feel like sometimes guys, like how y'all said, use pretty women for their confidence and stuff like that. So I want to make sure that you're actually concerned about my well-being, like I'm concerned about yours. Um, um, yeah, just and I don't want to get into detail, but just I want to make sure that you, like I said, what's important to me is important to you. So, for instance, working out is important to me. Eating healthy is important to me. Family is important to me. Children are important to me. Education is important to me. Meditation, just knowing history, correct history is important to me. Knowing how to defend yourself and how to stand your ground is important to me. So a guy who can that's why I feel like my husband will be able to, like, he'll teach me those things.
And let me ask you another question then. What would you say your husband things that you wouldn't expect your boyfriend to be doing while you guys are married? Because, for example, like your boyfriend is going to protect you. He's going to provide for you. He's going to probably pay for most dates, most things. If you guys live together, he's probably going to pay the lion's share of the bills. What do you think that a man can do that is not husband level to make you want him to be your husband?
That's not husband level?
Yeah.
I honestly can't say.
Got you. Bo, question for you. What are girlfriend things that you can do in a relationship that you could do only without doing any of the wifely things that would make a man want to make you his wife?
I'm gonna say something that people will never expect from me. Nothing. Mostly just because I feel like if you are marriage minded and if your intention is on being a wife, you're going to be those things even before then. Because if you're not, then how do they know that you would be that person after the ring gets on there and the vows are spoken? So if you're a wife through and through, before and after. That's just because you just have those qualities. So
the things that guys get from women: sex, compliance, submission, companionship, we'll say home managerial skills, right? What fellas, what woman would you ever marry that wasn't doing that shit for you already? Hank, would you have got married if your wife or girl wasn't doing none of that for you? Like the things that you require for your woman to do? Like, would you have married a woman and been like, oh, I put a ring on your finger now, so now I'm expect for you to learn how to suck dick or learn how to bake apple pie? Like, is that would that have worked for you?
No, sir.
What about you, JR?
What was the question again?
Of all the things that you expect for your woman to do, what of those things would you let her wait to do until you were married? Or like, could she not do those things and then you be like, yeah, let me go ahead and marry her when she's not doing shit for you? Damn. I need a soundboard.
Nah, I might need you to ask it again. I'm trying to.
So if your girlfriend is not doing wifely shit for you, would you ever want to marry her?
No.
Dope, would you?
Hell no.
Like, so again, Vibe, like the stuff that you say, like, remind you, we're just take for what you said. You said it seems like anything you do with a man is going to be tit for tat or transactional. If you give me this, then I'll give you that. If you do that, then I'll do this. That's not what, for the type of men that I would assume you want the same men, the established ones. That doesn't seem to be what those types of men want for themselves.
That's not what I'm saying. I didn't say that I was going to do shit for them. Like you are saying that I said that I'm not going to do shit for them, or I'm saying that I'm going to be at girlfriend level, not wife level. And I'm okay with that. And if they're not okay with me being at girlfriend level, then then that's not the person for me. So I'm okay with that. But I think that the way that I choose to deal with it's working fine for me. I don't feel like I need to pay all someone's bills. I don't feel like I need to cook every meal for them. I don't feel like I need to take care of all their children, even the ones that I didn't have with them while I'm their girlfriend. I think those are things that you do when you are coming together and deciding to be a wife to someone. Now, will I do things? Yeah. I might braid some hair here or there and cook some meals here or there, and like as we do things. But I think that the super immersive thing, like as soon as I'm your girlfriend, now I'm gonna just go completely and just do all these things. Like I don't operate in that way, and that's not me. But I do have a lot to give, and I do give it. I'm like an onion. I have layers. So I think that in my experience, You know, I've already done that. I've already been that. I've already went to the, to the extreme and given upfront, and it didn't work out for me. So for me, I'm going to gradually get to know a person, and gradually, as we appreciate one another, then I will do things. And it has nothing to do with like, um, how many things did you do for me today? Okay, well, I'll do 4 things for you today because you did 4 things for me today. It has nothing to do with that. I
Okay.
don't keep account or record of how many things I'm going to do. I'm just saying that I am conscious that where I'm at in this relationship is where he wants me to be and where I want to be, and it is not necessarily the marriage level yet, but once it gets there, then it will be different, and I think it should be different.
Okay. So okay, understood. Received. Would you want to be a man's wife who wasn't doing husbandly things for you?
See that again, your question is loaded. You're
Not
saying, would
loaded
you
it up.
want
That's
to
a
be, no,
simple
I want to
question.
repeat what you said. You said, would you want to have this person be your husband who wasn't doing husbandly things?
Mhm.
I don't expect, I'm not going to expect my boyfriend of 2 months to come over and stay at my house and live with me. I'm not going to expect him to cut my grass every week. What if he lives in a whole nother state? So does he have to move because we're together now and cut my grass every week? No, he doesn't. But if he comes there and he does it for me, or he takes my garbage out, there's different dynamics. It's not just cut and dry, black and white. So yeah, I think that if I don't look for a man to do things for me to necessarily like him, I look for a man that is able to stand in his power and humility, a man who is able to communicate effectively, a man who is strong, a man who loves women, and I think I could tell those kinds of things. He has integrity. I can tell those kinds of things as a girlfriend. And if he's doing those things for me, then he'll see who I am. But if he's not doing those things, we're not gonna get anywhere.
Can I ask
So
a question?
I don't think I have to do all these outward things. Yes, did somebody say something?
Yeah, I wanted to ask a question. It's quick. So if you were with a man for a year and some change,
A year, okay,
and
a year.
a year and some change, and you're not married, you're just boyfriend and girlfriend, and he makes a decent amount of money, $500,000 a year or something like that, and you got laid off from your job, and you are trying to figure out what you can do as far as to be able to consistently pay your rent. He has the funds and the means to pay your rent. Would you? I'm not going to say would you expect him to pay your rent, because you might be like, I don't want you to do too much. But like, let's say you were about to get evicted. Um, would you expect your man who you've been with for a year, sharing your body, just being, y'all locked in? Would you expect him to be like, yo, I got you. Like, you don't got to worry about. No, you good. Like, we're gonna find you a new situation, but you don't have to worry about anything. You're not about to be on the street.
Do I expect it? Is that what you asked?
I just want to ask 2 questions. Do
Oh,
you expect it, and also do you expect it, and if he chose not to do it, how would you feel? Like, if you didn't ask him, but he just was like, oh, you homeless, like, oh, you gotta go live with your aunt, maybe try you bouncing from house to house, like, how would you feel if he's allowing you to do that?
no, I definitely will feel some kind of way, but also I can't control another person, right? So, we're
So
married. I
him
mean, we're not.
him allowing you to do that, would that be you downloading data in your mind, like, okay, he's not, I don't know if you can be my
Mental note.
husband.
It's definitely a mental note. However, even if the shoe was on the other foot, I mean, I probably would offer to help. We've already been, dating for a while. But if he offers to help, that'd be great. But do I expect? No, I don't expect anything from anyone. I think that if he wants to help me, like, I would share it. If he wants to help me, then I would be grateful.
Yeah.
but I won't be expecting him like, you better help me right now. Like, you know, you need to do this. Like, no, that's what I think about expect. So no, I wouldn't expect, but I mean, I would be grateful if he did.
I think it's one of those things where it's like we wouldn't expect it, right? Because we technically are not married, right? But however, it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't thing where it's like if you don't do it, you just got dinged a bunch of points, and we might not actually ever get married because you allowed me to be at this low point in my life, and you didn't step up and be a man. So it's like, one of those things where it's like, no, and the only answer is yes. He needs to like, yo, I'm your woman. I've been giving you my body for this period of time. Like, you need to make sure I'm good,
But he's been giving me his body too. See, so
we men know it's a little different.
No, but it's not though, because sex is sex. And just because I got more feelings than you got after I had sex doesn't make sex not sex. I think that's the problem. It's like the woman wants to be like, oh, I'm having sex with you. You need to be giving me this kind of money and that kind of stuff and this and that. But no, it's an even exchange. Just because you have these feelings and now you want to romanticize everything. It doesn't make it now this man has to be obligated to give you all these things. He doesn't. Now, if he does, be grateful, girl. You better be grateful and appreciate him for that. But I don't think a man has to give me things because I'm sleeping with him.
Yeah, I'm not saying give you things, but if you were in that situation, you would expect him. Even you wouldn't expect him, but
no, I would not expect him. I would tell him because he's in my life, and we share information with one another, and because of my choices that I would make and the type of man that I would date from here on out, he's the kind of person that would be generous and would help me anyway, and I would be so grateful for that. And he would get a lot of hanging from the chandelier from that. But yeah, I would not expect him though.
But you know why I have a problem with the not expecting part? The only reason I have a problem with that is because there's a wrong answer to the question. Like, he can do the wrong thing by not doing the right thing. There's only one right thing and one wrong
thing. That's his integrity. That's him showing how integral he is. And I need to see that. I need to see where the strength lies. I need to see what kind of soul he got. So I'm not gonna manipulate him. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm damsel in distress. First of all, I'm gonna try everything I can first on my own to make sure that I've done everything I can, because I need to be able to know how to build with the things that I have as well. And if I really can't, then yes, I'm going. And so by that time, that person's gonna know that if I asked you, I had no other options because I tried really hard. And then, yeah, my gratitude will overflow for that. But, it could be a catch-22. Like if you say, hey, I ain't gonna help that person, and if they do that, then I know that, I know where we're kind of, where we stand with each other. Yeah, but I'm not going to expect it, if that makes sense, because people, I don't feel like I need to control anyone. I think that, it's important to allow people to be who they are. So you see who people really are, and then you can appreciate them for what they do decide, as opposed to like trying to kind of box them in to do something or created a scenario where it's hard for them to say no or it's impossible. I believe in people having the choice.
Give them enough rope to hang themselves with.
Not necessarily, because I'm not looking for that. I'm believing in him. I'm believing in his integrity. I'm believing in the goodness inside of him, and however he chooses to display that is up to him. I don't get to control that.
But it's only one right answer, though. He has to.
If he wants to continue a relationship, right, and he knows I'm about to be on the street, was he gonna live there with me? Or can he help me? Does he know somebody that I can get a job real quick? Or, it doesn't always have to be like, I need to give you the money. It might be, I might be able to help you figure out another kind of way or whatever. I'm not necessarily, if something happens like that, God forbid, definitely. And if the shoe was on the other foot, like, yes, I as a, being who I am, I'd be like, babe, you need me to help you with that, and it would be like nothing. Who said that? Oh,
The sound bite.
it would be like, does that mean like shut up or what? Does it mean like, I would definitely help, but I don't think he would necessarily expect me either. I don't know, but he probably knows the kind of woman I am, and that I wouldn't let him just be hanging out there. But he would be grateful because of the woman that I am, and I would hope, But I don't believe in coercing or controlling people. I think that if they love you genuinely, they're gonna love you.
Okay. Good idea.
I just want to say, Willie, I didn't say you didn't respect women, but I do feel like, because maybe of your experience, I said I don't feel like sometimes you see the value in women, but I think you have a woman that once y'all are married for a long period of time, and once you do start going through hardships, like maybe losing people in life, death could be a hardship. Um, I know men go through midlife crisis. Um, it's not problems that, probably most men are, comfortable talking about on podcasts. But from what I've learned from the men in my life, because I have a lot of men in my life, and I ain't gonna lie, since I started this podcast, like, I don't know, I've been in my depression and I kind of secluded myself from everybody. But a lot of men kind of tell me that's what I am. It's nothing tangible, but they're like, I like talking to you. Or even my friends, boyfriends, I feel like that's the space that we hold as women in general. And then I just wanted to talk about the partner situation, because I didn't get a chance to comment on that really. Um, I feel like when you have somebody, it's nice to have somebody who can play multiple roles in your life, if that make any sense. Like, I feel like no matter what, my husband is my husband. But I kind of understood where Bo said when she says partner, she's more so not describing him. It's more so the relationship that she was saying. So, like, for instance, I've had guys that I've dated in the past tell me, okay, you my best friend. And that's because I've helped them with spaces, whether it was with their brother, their mother, um, just someone in their family, their uncle. It's always something very, very personal that men can't usually talk to other men about. And I was able to hold spaces for them. And a lot of those men, maybe I did turn down one of the wrong guys, because one of the guys wanted to marry me. He was very marriage minded. His approach with me, I didn't feel safe. But when I talked to y'all, it made me see it from a different point of view. But everything happened for a reason. The man for me gonna be the man that holds the space I need him to hold. But overall, I think that's why I got from partner. Like, okay, this is somebody, like she said, somebody I could work with. Not he's my partner, but it more so describes the dynamic of the relationship.
That I promise you, I don't hate women, but I will tell you that the women who think that I hate women, not you specifically, are the women that I'm talking about. Hit dogs always holler when that's because again, offline, you understand. I'm, holding domestic, taking, doing Mother's Day rallies for victims of domestic violence, all the shit I do for women. So I get it on these panels, but again, if you hear what I'm saying, I'm talking about those women specifically because that's who we're talking about. We're never
That's why I
talking.
always let you finish.
Yeah, we're never talking about like upstanding. We're talking about bitches like Cardi B. Like we're not talking about women who are respectful. So I comment on those women. Y'all give me a topic we're full of respectful women. The conversation is different, but I'm never going to speak highly about a hoe.
And that's why I said a lot of women lack endurance too, because I think once she got married, she thought, oh, now that I'm married, I'm going to be wife material. And she was probably, like you said, already doing things that she was already doing before she got married. So Offset didn't see the change. You know what I'm saying? I don't think women understand their role in a marriage. And I think if they did, and I think if she did, I don't think Offset would have ventured the way he ventured, because she would understand what he needed from her. But I think women like her do go into the relationship worried about what they can get, how they look. They're not, especially if you outselling him and you doing his job better than him, in her sense, because they both rappers. I'm gonna say that. But for her, I can honestly see, like you said, why she's the problem, because I don't think she's was some more so focused on him, but how he made her look. Like She wasn't worried about his mental spaces. But then it's just so much because I keep forgetting he had so many kids. And that's the part I can't get with. Like,
I
that's
don't
the part
believe that at all about
that's the part that confuses
things.
me.
I think Offset is Offset. You know, I don't believe that she could have kept that man in the house like if she wanted to. Offset is Offset. He gonna do Offset. You know,
She's a former
But think about
stripper.
it. If a stripper feel like, okay, I would never feel like I would want to get married, right? And then she meets a man who makes her feel like I want to get married. Of course, she's going to think I can change him because maybe she didn't never think about marriage. Maybe she didn't ever, you feel me? So now that she got a man that finally got her into that position, kids at a certain age, especially as a stripper, to have kids at that age as a stripper, he had to be in her head. And not just that, what he was doing for her. She said record labels used to play with her, venues used to play with her. And when she got with him, they wouldn't play with her money. They wouldn't play with her time. So he was covering her in a way that most niggas in the industry, you seen how they was treating her on Love and Hip Hop, wasn't covering her. So she was like, if he could do this for me, then maybe I could, maybe that's the only way I could think of it. Like a bitch that's a stripper and then she's in her prime and then she's having kids get married. He did something. He covered her in a way that maybe she wasn't covered by her daddy. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she wasn't covered by her pimps or the club owner. And once she felt that covering, she was like, oh, I can have that for him too. Not understanding the endurance it actually takes. Women feel like, oh, once I get picked, I'm entitled to you being the best man you are. There's not going to be any issues once I get picked. Because once you pick me, that means you must have it together, right? Like you must have it together. Nah, it's not always like that.
I did have I know we got sidetracked, man. We talking about Cardi B. She ain't even in the topic, but should women refuse to have kids until marriage, or is that an outdated expectation?
I think a lot of women is not okay with abortions like they make it seem. So I don't, it's hard to answer that question.
I'm going to say yeah, because then 23% of Gen Z wouldn't have already been aborted. It's like, no disrespect, die, but it's statistically proven that Black women kill more babies than any other group of people, and they have literally killed almost a quarter of an entire generation of people. Like, so yeah, I would hope they wouldn't wait till they're married because, you know, the baby has a better chance. But even still, that wife can go get an abortion if she wants to. Like, I'm not gonna say that marriage is a cure, like Dope said, but I will say that, you know, if you have to pick between not being married and being married, there's none in between. You should not have a child single by yourself. Like, a lot of women treat these babies like they're these small ass dogs, like they're a fashion accessory or some shit. Now they got a kid that they can dress like the niggas they want to date, or they can dress the kids like the type of niggas they like because, you know, they got like a little doll, a human life-size doll, or can dress them like the little girl they wish they were, and they treat the kids like they're just some type of accessory for them. So no, I'm cool.
Honestly, I feel like that's how men treat them, like an accessory that you could just pass down to somebody and forget about.
What do you mean by that? What you saying? Because they don't have no involvement with them?
Mm-hmm. Like, even at this age, my friends whose fathers was genuinely just not in their life because they knew they picked the wrong woman and didn't want to deal with the woman. Even when they reach out to their fathers at this age, those fathers have no genuine interest in being in their life.
Yeah, sounds like another benefit of being married. So I agree with this statement. Women should refuse to have kids until marriage. But people who call themselves the men partners, they okay with that shit. Because guess what? These goddamn bull daggers can have babies too.
Hank, that's what I was
This
going to
is some
say.
nasty work.
This lady I'm working with, she's married and she's going through a divorce. It just was a domestic violence situation, real bad. And ever since he's divorced her, he don't want to be with the kids no more. He stopped picking them up every weekend. He's literally detached himself from the kids because they're detaching from each other.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you know, situations like that, he was probably whooping on her ass before he even got with her, married, as far as married her. But so happened she decided to say I do to this fool. She made a bad decision.
No, I was just talking about how he said that women just be having babies as accessories, and I say guys kind of do that too. And if it doesn't come with a woman, sometimes they're just willing, or if the woman or if the accessory is hard to deal with, then they just choose not to deal with it at all.
You call a baby an accessory?
No, I didn't. I'm saying you missed the point, Hank.
No, Hank, what I said was a lot of women treat their kids like
yeah.
their accessories. Like
Yeah.
the same way niggas get pit bulls and
Okay,
Frenchies,
God damn.
women treat babies like that.
Yes, and I was saying,
That's some
I
nasty
would
work.
say I feel like men do that a lot. Like, and it's an accessory that some of them not even willing to go to court for. Get the
Hold on,
lawyer
time
for.
out.
Like they'll
you
get
think
it for
men-
their car.
You think men treat the babies like an accessory?
Because the situation I described, like how my friend even.
So I wasn't off when I sit there and say you sitting there thinking a baby's an accessory because you think men treat a lot of kids like an accessory.
Not men in general, the fathers who choose not to be in their child's life, like that creates the single moms, like the moms that don't have no help. Like for instance, I don't know a man, and when I say a man, just by my definition of a man, I don't know any man that would let a woman will be okay with knowing that his seed that's actually on this earth is in the hands of a woman that he knows will make his son a statistic. I just don't know any father, any real man, any real father that is okay with that. And that's just my opinion. Especially with the statistics of how kids are turning out by single mothers.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get Hov Avenue. What you about to ready to say?
I was just gonna say, yeah, I agree. I think that women should refuse to have children until they get married. It's really difficult to raise children alone, and then on top of that, if you're still like trying to search for a man, you're gonna wind up neglecting your kids. So I think it's really important to make a real good decision about whether or not you're going to have children. Don't just like make that loose. Don't take that loosely or lightly.
Is anybody that disagree with this? No, everybody agree.
Yeah.
Bo, you want to say something?
I feel like your chances are higher. Your chances of success will be higher.
Okay.
Especially knowing, like, I know I was arguing devil's advocate, but overall, I feel like your chances will be higher with the father being in the child's life. Although there are some situations where, fathers, like I just named with my co-worker, but I do feel like if y'all married, the man has a better chance of, creating that bond with the kids, getting attached to the kids, coming up in the house with the kids. It's just a different dynamic. I can't say that.
Gotcha. Go ahead, Bo.
I don't disagree with the kids being raised in the house with two parents. I was raised in a house with two parents, but I think we need to be careful with that because we are not specifying what type of household this should be. We're just throwing two people in the household and saying kids are better off with two parents. I would have been better off with one. Like, I ain't gonna hold you. Like, we have to be careful when we are just haphazardly encouraging parents or husband and wives to have children, and we're not checking that both of them are healthy, both of them have a good dynamic between each other. Because I went through literal years of therapy in order to work through a lot of traumas because I had a two-parent household. And so that's a long story. I do not want to get into that, but it just goes to show you that we have to be careful with just encouraging two people to be in a household together who have children, because that's not always a good thing.
All right.
I think objectively, I do think that if women, absolutely, but I think if women just waited to have sex, it would have almost the same effect or a very similar effect of kind of weeding out the ones who just not really on nothing. You know, you wait to have sex, you can talk more. You actually really get to know a person. So yeah, I think objectively, waiting to get married is, you know, to have a kid. Yeah. Wait, are we saying wait to have sex also, or like they can be having sex and just not have and just as long as they getting abortions and using condoms and stuff?
I think that we should be encouraging people to be extremely careful because you don't like having a baby with just random people is not healthy because it creates it creates very complicated situations. Um, a lot of us got out there really young and we made mistakes. And so one mistake, cool, cool, cool. I'm not the type that's like, you can't do this over and over and over again because sometimes it takes people over and over and over again to learn a lesson, unfortunately. But I think that we need to preach being careful because just because you want to have sex does not mean that you consent to having a child. But also, you need to take responsibility and you need to take precautions and be very adamant about those precautions. Just because it feels good without the protection does not mean that you don't need to use protection. So we have to teach people, especially our young people, how to abstain if they can't control themselves or how to control themselves, be it a man or a woman.
All right, I got a question for the panel. Um, does sleeping with a man on the first night hurt a woman's chances for marriage?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's the question. Hold that.
Oh, yeah, I think so. But I think I want to hear from men though.
I think
Okay,
so.
I know Repo said yes. Hink.
Well, you know, if she gonna act like a hoe, you treat a hoe like a hoe. So hell no, you don't marry a hoe. You let a hoe leave the hoe to the streets.
Yeah,
Look here, lady. I don't think y'all understand. We categorize y'all whether y'all want to believe that shit or not. So if we getting y'all ass on the first night, now we ain't gonna respect you. You know what we're gonna respect? Every time we come over and give you that goddamn 20 minutes, and then the disrespect starts as soon as we walk up that sill of that goddamn door. You get categorized. So accept your whole title. That's what we're gonna look at you as we're gonna call you. If we describe you through our boys. Nah, I mean, I knocked that hoe down. That hoe wasn't shit. I wouldn't have nothing to do with her. But if that's what you want, go and get her. You better not marry her, though, because I ain't the only one to hit on the first goddamn night. I think there's a line of dudes over right now. Take a number, take a goddamn seat. So hell no, fellas. Do not marry that heifer if she threw it back on the first goddamn night. You know what the outcome's gonna be.
I think that I think somebody said something earlier about men and women sexually. It's like the same. I don't think it's the same reasonably. Men and women, because the stakes aren't the same for men and women. You can die having a baby. I can sit on a couch and watch football while you have a baby. You know, like the stakes aren't the same for you. So when it comes to like you being selective about who you sleep with, and I do think men should be selective. But in reality, you know, it's not the same when we're weighing these things. So I think when men and women are dating, neither one of us want everything that we ultimately want from this person on the first date. You know, and the big things that a man want from you, one of them is sex, and you know, one of them is sex. One of the big things that a woman wants from you is money. At some point, she gonna want your money. Now, she going like, listen, you gonna want a man money at some point. You gonna want it, and if I'm giving it all to you on the first date, you gonna be like, all right, I'll take it, but you a sucker. I ain't, you know, if I'm picking you up on the first date, I heard of some men giving women flowers on the first date, like a big bouquet of flowers, and it's just like that's going to turn most women off, even though they want flowers. Don't give me a big bouquet of flowers on the first date. Like, don't most women listen, guys? Do not do that. I don't care what they saying on the panel. Don't give these women flowers on the first date. They're gonna look at you like a sucker because you're
You
not
better
supposed
give
to
me
be
some
doing it.
flowers.
Like,
Yeah, I'm gonna need some flowers. I mean, it don't have to be all over the floor, but I just need a little
listen,
something.
I love flowers.
don't do it. Don't do it, fellas.
Daisies,
They gonna want it. They want that romance.
I
But don't
love
go all
flowers.
romance on the first date because they're going to be skeptical, and they should. And they should be like, "Oh, this nigga's just doing too much too early," because you can do too much too early.
I don't disagree. I do not disagree with that, but it also depends on who you ask. Because I am the type of woman that I would love flowers on the first date. Don't throw no money at me because I'm gonna feel like you're trying to slide me $40 for something. But flowers, please give me some. I love flowers. Now, some women may see that as a red flag. Some women may, be like, that's too much. But it depends on who you ask. Also, some men do not think that sleeping with someone on the first date it disqualifies. Because I've got 2 friends that did that, and they've been married for a very, 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 very long time. So, it just really depends on who you ask. I think as a general rule, you should probably follow what was said. But it just depends, too. There are variables.
Well, I think that's something that
real dope. You know what you need to get real dope. You need to get these heifers some cooking flour and say do something with it. Show them she can get down in that goddamn kitchen. That's what type of flowers you need to be offering them.
I agree. Give both some cooking flour in the apron. She's a woman.
Oh,
I swear to God, I'm so glad he ain't married because don't nobody deserve him. Nobody deserves that.
God damn, how disrespectful is that?
I said I'm glad you're married. I'm so glad.
But you can take that backhand compliment and shove it up your ass. I don't want that shit. I know you don't. God damn, that's some nasty work.
So are you.
There we go again. So now when I unleash, I'm wrong. Come on, ma'am, don't do that.
Don't you do that because you made a lot of things about me. You disrespected me first.
How did I disrespect you by what did I say to you that was disrespectful? I'm listening.
What you did was set the terms for our engagement. So now that you have set the terms for how I engage with you by how you engage with me, now
what did I do?
Engaging with you. Now,
what did I do, man?
You
I'm
can
listening.
say whatever you would like to say to me, then I can do the very same to you.
What did I do?
It's of no consequence at this point, sir.
I know, because I didn't do anything, ma'am, because now you lying on me. Again, you continue to disrespect.
I'm not lying on you. You can run it back.
Well, man, I'm asking you. You're here, right here. You can say it for yourself. I'm listening.
Oh.
So, what is it? I'm sorry. Did you say something? Okay, I thought so.
I know you did. You think a lot.
I do want to kind of run some past the gentleman. I mean, you guys can tell me if you agree or disagree. I have a different take on that. I think it all depends on the guy. If it's a man that's used to getting, on the first night, for the most part, I think it may be not hard for him to decipher, but I don't think every woman falls in that category. There's a lot of men that I know that are married that had sex pretty early with their woman, which is now that their wife and they've been happily married for some years. They was just that guy. I mean, I find it hard to believe, Dope, that like most of the women that you encountered that you didn't get it early.
95, 90, 98%.
So then how is that a true statement for you then, as far as if she gives it up?
I mean, well, the woman that I
mean, I don't want you to speak on the woman that you don't have to disclose that, but what I'm just saying is that I think it's still one of those things that's situational. And I think that as a man, you got to be able to have the discernment to understand your your power in this world and being able to balance that with is she wife equality or not. So
Mm.
um I don't know. I don't think every man has that advantage, but I do think that some men are just used to getting it, and if they don't get it, then it's like, what the hell is wrong with me, you know? But if they're used to getting it, then they can come across somebody that's a wife, and they just got it early,
Yeah,
or they can
I
come
don't.
across somebody they get it, and I think they know that they trash, and they ain't going out with them. You know, they're not going on trips with them. You know, they kind of kicking them to the curb. So
Yeah.
that's just my take on it, man. I think it's all situational.
So, JR, I don't fully disagree with you when I say that. So, I think that as a man, I know that at least for me, for the most part, as a rule, if you after I have sex with a woman early and really fast, I just lose the incentive. I lose what I don't know, but you just gave me what I wanted too fast, and I just lost interest. I think a lot of men, a lot of times, will lose interest fast, especially if they already like are a player and they dealing with different women. You know, they'll just lose it. Most cases, they'll lose interest fast. I'm not saying that it's going to determine if that woman could have been a good wife to you or not. Because I think that most women, if you are that guy, they're going to do whatever they need to do in a relationship to be with you, and they're going to fit whatever role you need them to fit for the most part. But I just think for women, I'm telling them that because he might just lose the. I, it was a woman who came in my job. She was old. She probably was like 10 years older than me. This woman's body was amazing. It was one of the best bodies I've ever seen in my life. And I used to tell my coworkers like, "Yo, I'm gonna marry that lady one day." Right. One day, it ended up working out that I got this lady number, and she was feeling me, and we end up, being adults together, and it went away. And she liked me way more than I ended up liking her, and I just was like, oh, like it was just a typical thing where a woman is kind of like putting in more effort, being more consistent than you, and you just like kind of like, oh, I didn't even know you liked me like that, and I like all of that marriage stuff went out the window.
Yeah, I can see your point. I think in general, I don't think you should be putting out that message that's okay. I just think that people that know, they know, and it is what it is. That message is not meant for everybody because everybody ain't gonna get it. And if you speaking to the mass, then I'd rather you speak and just let them know that this is this is how you should view it. But on a conversation, like behind closed doors, like most of the people that I know that I've been around, it just kind of came with it, and they saw something else in them. And I can, for the most part, can vouch for those particular. And my circle is pretty small that they've been loyal. So, ladies, you guys want to chime in? You guys have been kind of soaking this all up like a sponge.
I would
So,
say, because y'all know I don't mind talking about my experiences. I would
okay,
say don't
don't
do
get
it.
too, get too.
It was before I hit 20. I tried it. I really liked this guy. We was talking on the phone a lot because I was a sheltered type of girl. So then when we finally did go on a date, because we had already been talking for a few months, I did it, and he didn't care about no good girl, bad girl, just because I made that mistake and I wasn't aware of how men think and all this other stuff. I was like, when I say he categorized me so hard, let me tell y'all how hard he categorized me. After the date, the next day, my supposed friend took me over there to see him because I wasn't driving. I graduated high school at 16, so I kind of hung out with an older crowd. And I went over there, and kid you not, she got out the car and went up to him and started hugging him, and he was kissing her on the neck. And I was just like, what just happened? Like, it broke my heart so bad. And then I didn't know what to do. Like, at that moment, I made two decisions. One, I always cherish my body. And then two, I always drive my own car.
Period.
So yeah, you could go with that. Oh, I'm a good girl and stuff. Because I think sometimes, especially when women are young, we tend to think like that. Like, as long as I'm a good person, as long as I do what I'm supposed to do at the front end, because you be so healed, you don't have really emotional trauma from dealing with negative guys and bad experiences because you did what you were supposed to do in high school. You know what I'm saying? And you still kind of doing what you're supposed to do in college. So when you're a good girl, I think women do just assume like, when I date him, he'll be able to see this. Like, but guys, sometimes they see it, but at the time they don't really care. They're not ready for that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think sex on a good day is the best option if you know you want to get married. But I do agree with Lapeef. Guys should have better discernment to judge character and not just actions or what could have been a mistake, you know.
Well, JR, can I ask you a question? Do you think that men will respect you, a woman, more if she pulls back? Let's say you on a first date and you can tell she like you can tell she feeling you, and she, you trying to take it there, and she pulls back and she's just like, not right now. Let's, I just want to.
It all depends on the woman.
Okay.
So, like the right woman, she'll get that treatment. But
if you know she a hoe, you're just gonna be annoyed. But if she's the right woman, it's like,
yeah, it's gonna be one of those things. So that's why I say everything is always situational. But and so many men get different experiences. So I may not be speaking to all men. I'm okay with that. But it's one of those things. If you know, you know, and men know other men because there's a standard, and we know how the world operates and moves, and so we can have discussions. Same thing, women can have discussions, and they know, like when they go out, like they know what influence they're gonna have. I know some women that are who the world view as beautiful, and they don't expect to pay for anything because they understand how society and the world views attraction, and this is the way that they've been moving majority of their life. So when they go out, I think one of them was they was invited somewhere, and they was asked to pay to get into like the VIP part of it, and they was like, what? They was confused because they thought when they was invited, they was already included for this particular space. So to answer your question and not to go too far off, I just think everything is always situational. I think it just depends on the woman.
I also want to say, I don't know about most women, but in my friend group, we kind of side eye men that want to do it too soon, cause y'all hoes too, and we be like, he a hoe, like he easy, because you learn too often that when men are interested too soon, they not really taking you seriously. They just want to hit and go. So we know you a hoe, and we like, you got a decision to make. You either a hoe, and then this is just a one-off, and then I ain't gonna talk to you no more. Or maybe, I don't know. I'm either making that decision to do it and I'm not talking to you anymore, or I'm not doing it and I still don't want to talk to you no more. But either way, it just depends on whether I'm interested enough. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of that is situational. It just depends. But more often than not, man, the older I got, I'm like, yeah, y'all is hoes too. So I got to side eye all of y'all. If you want to do it too soon, I'm like, because why do you want to sleep with me? Like, why do you want to get this intimate with me this soon? Because you don't even know me like that. You don't like me. So we know the game too.
So it's either transactional with these heifers, or they just gonna give it up because they goddamn they hoes. Either way, it's all the same. I see why they do what they do. I see why they move the way they move, because that's what they do. because the mammy did it. The grandmammy was hoes. So they ain't doing nothing but to continue the tradition. Like they do say with a tradition like no other. That's what these efforts do. So we move and operate as such. You don't respect a hoe. You treat a hoe as a hoe. Shout out to the goddamn ghetto boys. You let them move and act like that. They can talk that shit all they want to talk about. No, we ain't giving it up. It's a goddamn lie. If a man come with the right price, you're giving it up. He smiled at you the correct way, you're giving it up. You drop some flowers, them calla lilies in front of your doorstep, you're giving it up. Please believe we know what happened. We do what we need to do to get it. And no, we don't respect you. Because if you think giving you dick is respect to us, then you're sadly mistaken. Because all that respect gonna go out the window as soon as we get done. We're gonna fucking get up. How we do them stank hoes. Shout out to D-Shot.
I do have I think I have a theory about men who speak on women's experiences like they have lived experience as a woman. I always ask them, have you ever dated a man? Do you date men? Mostly just because you can't have a lived experience of dating men and being a woman unless one, you're a woman or you date men. And so I think that men should be careful speaking from a woman's perspective about how women feel, about how women live and who women are, because they are not women and they do not date men. Like, if you're not one of those two, I feel like you should probably be asking questions and listening to women. But
Period.
that's just me.
I kind of agree with that because my opinion do be
Fellas,
different
don't
from
listen
a lot
to
of
these
y'all
hoes.
opinion on the podcast.
Fellas, do not listen to these hoes and heifers. They don't know what they talking about. We document this. We used to have the black book, but these heifers think they know. Why? Because you fucked around a little bit. Shout out to you for getting your coochie knocked in. Shout out to you, heifers. But please believe me, we share information. We don't respect hoes. That's why we talk about you. That's why you're labeled. That's why you got that goddamn title. It's not about nothing else. We know what you are. We share the information. Please believe me. If a man had a real one, you ain't gonna know nothing about it. You ain't gonna know how she moves, operate. But these hoes, we let it be known, as we should.
I'm not gonna lie.
Teach the young bloods, the young cats about these hoes. Don't fuck with her. Don't deal with her. Have nothing to do with her unless you want a night. Give her goddamn 20 minutes and get the hell on. Don't waste your time entertaining these heifers. They don't deserve a thing of flowers. Flowers? Man, give her some cooking flour. Show me you can cook, ho. That's the only thing you should be able to show me, because you can't do nothing else for me but give me what I'm looking for. And now get the hell up. Now, if you choose to leave $40 on the nightstand, that's on you. Shout out to the tricks. They got to do what they got to do. Some dudes just can't get it. They can't use that mouthpiece to get the woman. They have to pay. So shout out to you, tricks. Real dope. Shout out to you, brothers. That's what you got to do. But for the real ones who don't have to do that and they move and operate like they should, you keep it moving and let it be known. Is she an easy one? I got to work for this heifer.
I'm gonna leave the $40 because I tip.
Bo, I got a question real quick.
Oh, you tip. Shout out to you for tipping.
You can hear me, Bo? Is it me? Or every time if a person's opinion gets challenged and then they have to resort to lower level words in order to get their point across, is it to me or to me it sounds like bruised ego? I feel like men, I'd be surprised when I get men with not bruised egos. Like, real dope, right? So many people
Who hurt you?
Huh?
Who hurt you?
Who, me? That, yeah, you get what I'm saying? Like that. Like, who hurt you when I'm disagreeing with your point of mind frame? Like, that's what I think of, because it's like, dang, like, what was said to make you get to the point where at the beginning of the podcast, nobody giving their opinion, really disagreeing, these women, it's a half everyone. But once you give an ideal or a thought process that goes against what he say, now, and he won't call you a hoe or heifer directly, right? He's just basically saying anyone who thinks like this, which is basically indirectly calling you heifers and hoes. But then I remember on the podcast the other day, I called this man soft, and he damn near, I promise you, which I think we was for the rest of the podcast. Endurance is big for a man when it comes to me. Endurance, because you don't know how many times I might disagree with you, not just because I'm combative, because we were literally raised in a different way. And my dad just came back into my life, and he just was talking about me about many things, even his side of the story. And he said, you do what a lot of women don't do. You take accountability, you self-reflect, and you listen. And I feel like when I first came onto the podcast, Hank was one of the men who made me realize there's a way that I address men, right? Just to remain attractive as a woman. If you can remain in your femininity when you address that man, the more attractive you come, right? I feel the same way about men. I feel 100 the same way about men. I feel like a man who could continue talking to me like I'm a woman, a man who can continue to appreciate my femininity and feed my femininity in order to get that response. And I'm not talking about just for your pleasures, but just because you like women to be women. You don't want women to talk to you like a man. You don't want women, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to provoke them into their masculinity. And I feel like sometimes you do that. And then when you get the responses, you be crying like, you be like throwing rocks and has your hands. And it's like you set the tone every single time. And then when you get it, you be like, what did I do? And it's like, do you really think that? Or is you just like fucking with us? Because I be confused sometimes.
I wanted to say something to Bo's point earlier. I do, because it's my personal opinion. I don't know what y'all think about this. I think that it's a man's response. It's a man's job to know a woman better than she knows herself. Whether you are married or whether you are a player, it doesn't make sense to not know a woman better than she knows herself. Men study women. We have to study women. That's what we do. We're men. We desire women. We study women. We everything about you. We study. A man will watch you walk from across the street into the store that you just walked in, and that might be your husband, 10 years from now, but he's watching. Like that's just how we are. Like we study you. So I feel like I know women better than they know themselves. Like a lion has to know a gazelle better than the gazelle knows itself. A lion has to know what the gazelle is going to do. That's why they plot on him, and a lion will be waiting over here and he'll chase him into the other lion. Like he knew exactly where you was going to go. And it's the same way as an athlete. Like a good offensive player knows what a defensive player is going to do when he does this. He knows the defender better than he knows himself. I just think that's how that works,
I don't disagree with that. I feel like you should, because if that's what you're interested in, you should, right? But you can never know the experience of a woman. You can never know truly what a woman goes through and how women truly operate because of their level of their experience, their life experience. You do see a lot. You do experience a lot. I think that men's perspective about women is extremely valuable because you all experience us. I can't tell you what that is. I can't tell you how you experience us. I can't tell you how you live life and experience life as a man because I am not a man. So I think that your perspective about women is very valuable, but you cannot tell a woman who she is and how she is because you do not have that experience. This is an inside thing. You can't tell a woman how she experiences men, just like I can't tell you how you experience women. I can listen to how you experience women. You can only listen to how we experience men. I don't invalidate your experiences with women, just like I don't like when men invalidate my experiences with men, unless you have dated a man. If you ain't got a coochie and if you ain't gave it to a man, I think you need to stop and listen. So I agree with you to a certain point. It's just you don't have the experience that I have as a woman, because I got a coochie and you got a wee wee.
Yeah, I think your experience is valuable, and we take that information, and then we even help you decipher. Somebody can help you decipher. They can help you problem solve, right? If you give them the information, they can help you problem solve. I think that's kind of like part of what we do is like, yo, yeah, your experience is important. You give it to us, we take it, and then we deduce something from it that maybe you didn't deduce. And for example, a lot of women, y'all have experiences, but a lot of women don't know how to pick the right guy. Don't know how to pick a guy who's really going to commit to them, or who's going to really, you can tell me your experience all day, but I can take that experience and I can, actually give you some advice to maybe help you find a guy who's going to give you what you want, what you're looking for.
What I think she mean by experience.
So real dope. You really believe they gonna tell you their real experience? Do you really believe that? Because if you ask one of these heifers their sexual experience, they gonna act like you look. They gonna look at you like you got two heads, though. So now you pay attention and listen to what they say, man. Watch how they move and operate. They're not gonna be real. They don't know what they want. You can tell by their baby daddies. You can tell by their boyfriends or their exes on what type of men and what type of woman they are. You can really tell by that. Just pay attention and listen. Look at their Instagram. They gonna tell their whole goddamn life story on social media because they don't know how to keep their goddamn mouth shut. They talk too goddamn much. And guess what? Them same girlfriends, these crazy heifers we talking about, be the same one to be telling their goddamn business behind their back. You know why? Because they realize they got a good man, but they don't show respect to that man. They disrespect for that man. They don't really like that man. They take advantage of that man. They use and abuse that man. And so guess what they gonna do? They gonna put their goddamn bid in. A year later, all of a sudden you see them walking in the park happy because they with their best friend or their former best friend. Now they on the outside looking in, looking in with envious eyes, wishing they had what they call a partner.
Lock his ass up. Lock his ass up.
So what I think she's talking about is like
some cats and a bunch of goddamn animals running around and hoping they keep them warm at night, along with that rose on the nightstand that they keep charged up with a goddamn car battery.
So I think what she means is like the
live your best life, fellas. Live your goddamn best life.
So what men tend to do is tend to associate an action with the characteristic, right? So for example, when I was first in this space, a lot of men used to assume that a woman who wants a job just wants to be combative. Like she just wants to be combative. She don't want to listen and she only has a job so she can't be combative and have some type of say so. Here's another thing. If you look outside and you see somebody with a rock, somebody you don't know in a random car and you break the car window, right? And this show block, you never seen this person. You like, he must be breaking into the car. But the police get there and they find out that's his car. He locked his keys in. He drunk. He just really needs to get home. And he just, you feel me? Or he might not even be drunk. He just locked his keys in the car. He's frustrated with life today. And he busts his own windows out. Yes, you've seen an action, but you will never understand the thought process of an action. So for instance, you guys as men, you know that when a guy, like how you said on that date, you'll get offended by a hoe, but not the good girl. You know what I'm saying? When she don't have the sex. Or you might pay for a date for sex, but another guy might pay for a date because he genuinely likes the girl. But just because y'all both pay for dates don't mean y'all both have the same thought process. So sometimes when we come into this space, as the women, me and Bo are, we tend to resort to certain things. Not just Bo. I'm not going to say Bo, just for me. When I first came into this space, when I heard them talk about certain women and just assume the thought process behind us, I was like, that's not my thought process. My thought process is different because of the pain and the trauma I've been through. You know what I'm saying? So that's when she means, just because I'm telling you this and I believe in this, don't mean I fit with those group of women. We there's a different thought process behind what I'm doing. But then what you're saying, Dope, is I understand y'all thought process, but as men, my insight is telling you, hey, this is where you're going wrong because you don't understand our thought process. And by you doing this, this is what's preventing you from getting what you want, if that makes any sense. So it's like it's a middle ground has to eventually be met. Y'all will have to be able to decipher better and then so would we, if that makes any sense.
I know your thought process. I know everything.
Oh my God, boy. Whole vibe. I know
that man a boy. Call that man a boy. God damn.
Real dope.
You are very sensitive. Your ego should not be that sensitive. You need some humility in your life. Your ego
That's disrespectful. That is disrespectful.
Real dope. If you were offended by what I said, I apologize. But if you're not, please tell your male friend to stop speaking for you, because as a man, you couldn't even speak for both about 20 minutes ago.
If you're
not offended, please stop speaking for you.
Real dope.
Crazy. See, but I'm from let me explain something real fast. I'm from the South.
You couldn't even address a man on a woman's
so to
behalf.
call a man a boy is nasty work. But it's me from the South. No. He may not, because he's not from the South. He's from the East. He's from the East. He may not be. But as a man from the South, you don't call a man from the South a boy.
So I'm saying he can't speak for you.
Doc, can you hear me?
That's crazy.
So man.
Doc, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Don't let him get in your head.
Okay, I'm just making
That's crazy.
I'm just making sure.
Call that man a boy. He's
I didn't
okay.
understand how his ego was hurt by my comment towards you.
Lock his
ass up. Lock his ass up.
I'm just saying. That ego, you need some humility in your life, man.
No, I'm good, man. I mean, if y'all trying to teach me about humility, you can keep that bullshit. You can keep it. The fact that y'all call a man a boy, I don't understand that. How you gonna disrespect this 30-something-year-old man and you say boy?
Oh my God!
Now he may, like you said, he may not find offensive. I'm from the South. I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. It's too late, though. It's too late.
Have I ever called you a boy?
Hello, motherfucker. You shouldn't. And you shouldn't.
I'm asking because I know how to address my conversation.
So you see him as a boy, but you see me as a man. I appreciate it. Thank you, Di. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
I feel like
Thank you, ma'am.
Rico man has more masculinity and capacity than you as a man. If you want to be,
but you call him a boy.
I was honestly trying to say that earlier.
You said he got more masculinity than me, but you call him a boy. But you never call me a boy.
I know he's not.
It's not about being sensitive. That's disrespectful. That's what them white folks used to call us. But see, again, these black heifers don't give a shit about our black ass. They don't care. Any way they can find a way to disrespect a man, they will do it. He called this man a boy and tell him, you need to be all right with it. And don't say, yes, sir, master, I'm good with it. Yes, sir, boss, I'm good with it. That is some nasty work.
I, as Di Simone and Repo, this is what I meant. Hold on, let me say this real quick. This is the example that I was just talking about. The example
it's not, ma'am. You call that man a boy, but you respect him. You respect him and his masculinity more than you respect me. But you call him a boy.
All the times that I've given him his respect, I will even stop talking when I realize I'm over talking him, regardless of how I treat him.
No, that's not true.
Emotions get triggered.
I'm in the head, dope.
Get triggered.
That's why where them fans at?
Now I'm in.
Where them fans at? They got to cool off because I'm so far in them, dope.
But yet he has still
I'm running a patch meal. I'm running a patch meal on these heifers. I'm so far in them. That's how far in them I am, dope. I'm running a patch meal on these heifers. Go get in the go get in the truck. It's October. It is October. Shout out to Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Shout out to I'm in the head. They gotta cool off. Chill out. Where the fans at?
You should be using moments like this.
They can't help themselves, dope. I'm in the head, dog.
I'm sorry.
It's too late.
You got to use moments like this as practice, right? Because I see good in you, right? And I think moments like this is practice. Like you see how he can say certain. Look.
Am I doing good, Pete?
Like in his little spill, he said certain shit about me. You see me over here. I don't say no. I don't have to respond because he's trying to get in. It will work on somebody else, right? He want to troll. He want a little bit of smoke. He have a little bit of fun.
The real though, just because I entertain it, don't mean I'm upset. Sometimes
okay, yeah,
I have a little fun and go back and forth and point out things that I see too.
Yeah, but also I don't think that you have. you can't talk as loud as Hank, so you can't win here, right? So you can do it. Y'all can go back and forth, but like this nigga is loud. Like it's hard to win. So it's like, you know.
No, I could be loud. I've been
It's
like
not about
that
being
before.
loud,
I was
dope.
watching the
I'm
podcast.
right.
I did not like how I
I'm
looked.
speaking the
I got
truth,
that.
dope. That's it. That truth is killing them.
Lapeef,
I ain't got
I
to
know
kill them
y'all
because I'm
heard me
loud.
loud. Y'all know I could get loud. I did not like how I
We
looked.
we
My mouth
understand that you told us, Di, that you can get in your masculine.
you know
Shout
what
out to
I
you
look
for
like when I get loud.
for being able to get into your feminine and your masculine. Shout out to you. I'm just saying, you call that man a boy is disrespectful. Now, if real dope don't find that to be disrespectful, that's on him. That's on him. I can't answer for that man. He got to stand on that shit his own. But see, again, I'm gonna say it again. I'm from the South. You don't call a man a boy. He's a whole goddamn man. You don't call him. I understand. And shout out to the North. But that's how we roll in the South. We don't call a man a boy.
Where you from?
And check this out.
Where you from, real dope?
Yes, a massa.
Where you from?
There
real
you
dope?
go. Shout out. He 20 lashes for your black ass, real dope.
Dang, he laughing about. That's crazy.
What's crazy? You call that man a boy. That's crazy. That's crazy.
All the women up here, hoes and heifers, who had a different opinion.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
It only applies to those who apply to. It only applies to who do it applies to. Now, if you feel that way, Di,
you said
then I'm gonna let that dog holler.
Instead of flowers.
Then I'm gonna let that dog holler. If that applies to you, then that's you. But if it don't, let it fly.
It did apply to me when you said
no. It applied to you.
Because yes,
okay.
I made a comment.
Shout out to you for admitting you a heifer and a hoe. Shout out to you.
No,
shout out to you, sister.
I didn't say I was a heifer and a hoe. I said your comment applied to me.
What's first? 824, also a member for 32 months. A man benefits by the mere fact that your commitment to your wife displays your covenant with God. Marriage is a covenant, not a relationship. Get real. Privacy to save, also member $10. I do notice when people call their significant other their partner, it's from people in the same sex relationships or from people who believe they are equal in relationships, which is diabolical. Privacy to save, again, also member $2. I'm glad this type of love didn't find me laughing my ass off. Big and $10. Yeah, when people say partner, it's just another word of dumbing down a position in life that don't have the life foundation to live up to. Example, I'm a wife, but your steps in life just don't support that. Wolf 313, also remember $5. Amazing, you guys. Go easy on non-virgins. Second, you allow females to say it's her child when even her DNA don't match. Y'all talk God, yet scared to be real. Prophecy to Savior, also remember $10. He said to Real Dope, you give these heifers some cooking flour. He never mentioned Bo. Real Dope mentioned Bo, but she took slight to that and threw a jab at Hink. Wolf, also member $2. Shout out to all the members, man. Women messed up the world. Never get advice from them. Ronald, also member $5 super sticker. And the Big Ant 11, $10. If I had to choose between Di or Bo or a three-legged pit bull, I'm going to choose the pit bull. I want to thank everybody.
Andrew, this comes from a guy with no profile picture.
Damn, that's fucked up. Like, what y'all do to him while I was gone? That's tough. And y'all stop being so mean to the panel, man. Like, y'all got to be nice to the people on the panel.
Listen, whatever their problem is not my problem. I don't have nothing to do with it.
Oh, shit.
Three-legged pit bull. That's tough. I'm going to put that in my book, my repertoire.
I want to thank everybody that has tuned in tonight. Thank you, Hope, for having us your first time. Hope to see you again.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And it was nice to meet everybody.
Yeah, hopefully the experience was enjoyed.
It was. Yeah, I like
yeah. Ms. Dasimone, thanks again for your resurrection. You know, you came back and you've I gotta get one on MTR bill. Shame bills. But anyhow, good to see you guys. Thank you, Bo. What's that, a muffin?
oatmeal chocolate bar. They're really good.
Okay. All right. Well, catch us tomorrow, the Thursday show. We live. Appreciate y'all, and we out.